It's time for Bad Movies Rule. It was a clear black night, and we are here. Warren G's not. It's Nicole. It's Farrell. It's Clint. We're talking about Young Guns. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
This is my third Western in a row.
I was thinking the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
This is also my third Western in a row, but I didn't do one of them with you. So technically, there were 4 Westerns in the last few movies.
It's just tumbleweeds going through this podcast.
That's right, because the Tombstone for Good Movies rule.
The pizza and
That's
the
right.
movie.
Oh, geez. All right. Well, look, guys. I did not mean, I think I texted you that. I said, Nicole, I'm not trying to just put you on Westerns. It's just how it's worked out.
Sure.
But why ruin a good thing? Why break precedent? We're here to talk about Young Guns, 1988. It has happened on the show like this for a while. There'll be like a run of post-apocalyptic movies. There was a bunch of monster movies for a while. Now we're on a Western run. Blame DH9K. It is her fault.
She did it again?
Well, in this case, I think this was a Patreon vote for Young Guns, actually. So the patrons are to blame.
Well, who gave the Patreon
for this one?
Vote on?
DH9K did.
All right. Well, there you go.
And I'm not going to say anything bad about DH9K.
And as we found out on the last mailbag, if you didn't happen to be here or listen to it yet, DH9K is a plant.
That's from what we think it's for a.
What did we
well, I don't know if did he have a name, but our arch nemesis.
Our arch nemesis.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So like a spy.
Somebody pulling the strings.
I don't think it's a spy.
Or like a plant.
It's an outside influence.
Like a plant.
Feel like
well, right.
Somebody's
not like
listening in.
Yeah, and it's her.
It's her.
But it's okay. Whenever Farrell's here, she's a lot calmer. So I'm just happy that you got a bit of a crush on her.
I'll try to get the info from her.
We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
But thank you guys for all being here.
Know that you're one of us. You get sniffed out as a
double agent,
like in the movie. You don't want that.
No.
Yeah.
Don't be super obvious like McCluskey was.
Yeah.
You think McCluskey was obvious?
Yeah, obviously he was obvious.
He came from the other clan.
Obviously. All right. I've never seen Young Guns. Is anybody else here a first timer on Young Guns?
I'm a first timer on Young Guns.
Perfect. Me and you both. I think I feel like it's one of those movies I was supposed to watch. You know, it was definitely a thing. And I just never did it. Like same thing with Lost Boys. Still have never seen it.
What?
You know, I guess I just didn't like Kiefer Sutherland or something. Okay, there you go.
I haven't seen Lost Boys.
That's all right.
I also haven't seen Lost Boys.
Look at that, Ryan.
But I've seen enough clips of like every movie ever. So like I know who's in all these movies, but I don't know everything.
I 100% knew of Young Guns.
Yeah.
I was aware of its existence, and I thought it was, it's nice that movie exists, and I just never went ahead and I just got on with the rest of my life, I guess.
I mean, you could.
Yeah. It's not like a essential thing.
Right.
It's not essential Brat-Pack viewing.
No. But thank you guys for tuning in. If you've never listened, what I'm about to do right here is go through the vitals, tell you everything you need to know about the movie itself, who directed it, who starred in it, who wrote it, all that stuff, the scores are, how it qualifies for this show. And then we're going to go through it scene by scene, and we're going to break down this movie and decide if it's actually a good movie, a bad movie, or a bad movie that rules. So, Ryan, are you familiar with the director of Young Guns here?
Christopher Kane?
Yeah.
Not really.
No. So the only other movie that he directed that I saw was The Next Karate Kid. Yeah. The one with Hilary Swank.
Uh-huh.
The good one.
What did you just say? The good one?
For a reason.
Look, Pat Morita's in it, so I guess it's not complete abject trash, but.
And Hilary Swank.
Yeah.
Also
obviously.
There. She was also there.
If we didn't have Hilary Swank in The Next Karate Kid, would we have gotten Boys Don't Cry?
I would assume so, but here's the thing. It's not like people watch... You just said and Hilary Swank. People watch Karate Kid movies for Hilary Swank. No, they watch it because Mr. Miyagi is there. And that's why I watched that movie, even though there's no Ralph Macchio to be found anywhere near there.
Exactly.
But so Christopher Kane directed this movie. Yes. It was written by John Fusco, who loves a horse, this guy, I'll tell you.
Loves a horse, huh?
He directed and created Spirit, the animated horse movie Spirit, and its many iterations and spin-offs. Okay,
the animated,
yes,
like the Stallion of the Cimarron. Spirit.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay,
that's the same guy that wrote this.
What?
And he wrote Hidalgo, that horse racing movie starring the
Viggo
Mortensen.
Yeah.
He was called him Aragon. But yes, Viggo Mortensen's horse movie, and Young Guns, and Spirit. And he also directed The Highwaymen, which is basically a Western.
It is.
With
Jim Caviezel.
Woody Harrelson and Kevin Costner, the two guys going after Bonnie and Clyde.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the Netflix movie.
Yes, correct. Which is actually really good. If you haven't seen The Highwaymen,
was,
I recommend it.
It was a John Lee Hancock movie, wasn't it?
Yeah.
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 Mm-hmm.
So
Quite the equine enthusiast.
he is. This movie starred, listen to this cast, Emilio Estevez,
Yeah.
Kiefer Sutherland,
Right.
LDP.
Still going.
Back again from the big hit. Yeah, you were here for the last time Lou Diamond Phillips graced
Shiny.
our screens. Charlie Sheen,
True story.
Dermot Mulrooney, Terrence Stamp, Jack Palance, and Casey Siemaszko.
I want to say
Casey
it falls off a
Siemaszko.
little off of the beginning, but those guys are all freaking solid.
Yeah, dude. It's a great cast, just like across the board.
Yeah.
Budget for the movie was $11 million, and the box office was almost $60 million.
When was this?
1988.
1988.
I guess 11 million seems like they did good for their money.
Well, yeah, that's not a big budget at all for the amount of stars that were in this.
Yeah, with the talent.
Because there were such new stars, they probably weren't
lot of
landing as much as they could later.
Sure.
Yeah. The movie currently sits at a 6.8 on IMDb. That is 16th highest.
I was gonna say
on
that's
this
pretty high for the show.
Only 15 movies we've done have been higher than that.
Yeah.
It's tied with, so another movie we did, there's only one other movie we did at 6.8 was The Last Dragon, which there's no way that should be a 6.8.
Well, if that one is a 6.8, this should be higher.
Right.
But I think ultimately that should be low.
I think so too, but that's a beloved movie. Here's how it qualifies for our show, because it also has a 76% audience score, so audiences love it. 43% rotten on the critic score on
the
Rotten Tomatoes.
Critics did not like it.
No, and I read through multiple of the reviews. Here's basically what Gene Siskel, probably one of the most famous movie critics of all time, said. Too much affection for gunplay and go ahead, let it out. Don't hold it in.
It's a f***ing Western. Bleep that.
Okay, I'll bleep it. Too much affection for gunplay, and the only thought worth preserving is that these mythic figures of the Old West often were very young men. Big deal. That was Gene Siskel's review.
Did Gene Siskel know the movie was called Young Guns?
I assume you go in, there it is on
Maybe
the
he
marquee.
thought it was Youngins.
Youngins, right. Youngians.
He was into something else, so he was really disappointed when he finally got it. I was like, this ain't about nothing.
Oh, man, it's about guns.
And young guys. Young
Big
guys
deal.
and guns. What?
That's why his first line here was too much affection for gunplay. He thought it was going to be about kids.
Kids.
Well,
Kids.
that's a big disappointment. See, it's all about expectations when you go into a movie.
My problem is,
This guy Billy the Kid is no kid. What
the heck, man?
the heck?
Understand
where do you
anything they
find
say.
critics? Who are the critics? You would assume that they would be a reasonable cross-section of listenership, viewership. You would assume at some point that they would just be people.
No.
No.
Never.
Why are critics a bunch of friggin' tools?
It's probably because they have master's degrees
no
from
offense.
NYU.
No, you're right. They're all like, English lit majors from, these big.
And the AFI Conservatory program.
Right, exactly. But I'm glad after 160 something episodes, we're finally asking the important questions.
it's a
Why are
legitimate
critics
thing.
all tools? Yeah, I know. I don't know.
Like, anytime there's a big disparity between the audience loves and the critics hate, it's like, how? How is that possible?
Right.
And then you get the one-offs, because I forgot to bring it up, but Roger Ebert, he gave Ghosts of Mars 2 thumbs up.
Yeah, so out of nowhere, he's one of the few critics. His critics and audiences hated that one.
Right.
But not Roger.
Y'all did. I loved it.
You love
He must have had some money on it.
You just want to come back 2 episodes later and go, just so you know.
I had to bring it back, just so you know, Roger Ebert gave Ghosts of Mars 2 thumbs up.
Okay.
So he's,
Got it.
So the two of you. Great.
Just the two of you.
Big deal.
The one thing I will say about critics is the breadth of the volume of the movies that they've seen. They have comparison points that maybe the average Joe, Jane, or
That's a great point. You've talked
Eleanor.
about yourself how your own meter has changed over doing so many episodes.
For sure.
So they think of how many movies they've watched. So to them, Young Guns might be talking about on the curve.
Yeah, but they watch all the trash and all the good. You would think they'd
Yeah.
still be kind of lined into the middle.
Maybe.
'Cause that's
You would
your
think
job,
so.
is to watch.
I mean, I could sit down and watch, Battleship Potemkin and Young Guns 2 all in the same night.
I'm just going to nod like I know what that movie is.
Okay.
Now I can
Mandy
say,
Patinkin.
Yeah. Indigo
good.
Montoya. Love that guy in Homeland.
Yeah.
yeah, I can say that you make anything your job. These guys probably loved cinema when they were young. and then they made it their job, and it became to suck, as jobs tend to do.
Got it.
That could have happened, yeah.
So you think Gene Siskel just sat there and he was just tired of watching movies, and so he just took it all out on Young Guns here?
Yeah.
Let me just hammer these guys.
Like, F these guys. They made something. Let me tear it down. They actually created.
Well, look, we've built this show, and we're happy that you guys haven't torn it down, and that because of you and your support and your listenership, we've been able to keep growing the show. And so thank you guys for listening. If you'd like to reach out, we have mailbag segments that we're regularly answering callers and emailers. So you can call the show at 262-757-8567, or you can email the show at thisshowIstrash@gmail.com. Otherwise, if you want to be part of the BMR community, you can join us, back the show at patreon.com/badmoviesrule. You can join our Discord. You can get on there, start chatting with us, chatting with all the other listeners, talking about episodes, but also doing watch parties, fun things like that. It's a really cool community you can plug yourselves into. All that is also in the show notes. You can check it out down there. I won't belabor the point anymore because it's time to pay the bills. All right, you guys ready to jump into Young Guns?
Let's go.
Youngins.
Because while Youngins, you got to do the G hard if we're going to do it because it is there. Youngins.
Youngins.
Now we're getting close to Gungans. We're back to Star Wars.
That was the right response, right?
No, I think so.
Thank you.
It's whatever feels right in your heart, Nicole.
Perfect.
Exactly.
While this is a Western, and I think movies today have figured this out that, they're not products of the time so much as they're able to be transported back into the Old West. But this is still very much an 80s movie.
Oh, yeah.
While also being a Western, which gives it like this weird, like, what's that big word you told me?
Anachronistic.
Anachronistic?
Yep.
It has a very anachronistic feel to it. What do you mean you don't believe me?
But that's a word.
It's a real word.
Well,
the beginning of this movie, it's like a Richard Marx video.
well,
okay.
With the 6 coolest bandana removals ever.
Right, and the stylized, I kept waiting for him to come in like, every breath you take. Like it was a...
So the pull-ins got you.
Not just the pull-ins, but the way it was all kind of animated,
Check out my notes.
Take on me.
Sure, like the gritty sepia tone of film from the 1890s.
Yeah.
Yeah, that.
Way worse than that.
Super stylized introductions. It was.
I think we watched it on Freevee or something like that, which is one I didn't have. I had to download Freevee, and I was like, "Oh, the whole thing better not be this." I don't remember the intro being like this when I watched it before. I was like, "Dude, if their version of this movie is this freaking degraded and bad, I can't." Because you could definitely see that the people were the people, but it's like, why is it all purple and brown?
No, because it was. This is what I'm saying. It was a music video from the 80s.
But then I realized
just much longer than an.
Then I realized all of the white writing is perfect. This is how it's supposed to look.
Right. It's weird because the rest of it is kind of like a Western, but just for the very beginning, you're still very much in the 1980s. It's a little weird.
You think so?
To me, it was.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the score is what does it.
Yes, because the first time we see Billy the Kid running down the street, it's like 80s guitar.
It's like it's a very much of a hybrid where it kind of still tries to maintain some Western twang to it.
Right.
But then it's also like, wait a minute, we just saw Top Gun, so let's take some of that music.
We want to run down the street with banjos, but also we kind of want to go into the danger zone a little bit.
That's it. Goose. Get off that horse.
Got to do it. You know what? Crazy. The internet will melt down if this ever happens, but I just found out like a week ago, Top Gun qualifies for the show. It's rotten with critics.
Yeah.
Oh my God, rotten with critics.
Yeah, the first Top Gun, absolutely.
Yes.
I call it.
I could not believe that. I'm like, if we did Top Gun on this show, the internet would have
super dibs.
Fit.
Do it.
Highway to the danger zone.
That'd be us riding into the danger zone. Anyway.
I mean, we're going to have to now.
We're not telling them it's bad.
No, but they still don't get that after 100.
They'll figure it out eventually.
There's a recipe. It's pretty easy.
We have
super easy.
We have an army.
Yeah.
At our disposal that will come to our defense.
Okay.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay.
Appreciate
the BM Army.
The
sounds like
BM Army.
Right.
The BM Army.
It sounds like the bowel movement army.
Nope.
That's our boys.
That's our boys.
Girls. That's right.
And very few ladies. Like 98% men.
It's all right.
We're calling you to action.
They'll be our regulators.
Mount up. It's time to ride. So the movie starts with Mr. Tunstall, played by Terrence Stamp, General Zod himself, and there's Doc, who is Kiefer Sutherland, a very young Kiefer Sutherland, and the two of them are in town, and this is when they see Billy the Kid. Gunshots ring out. Here comes Billy running down the side of the street, 80s guitar going crazy. Right.
Yeah.
And they go and they pick him up to take him to the island of Misfit Boys or wherever, Mr. Basically. Tunstall's ranch where he takes
KT Tunstall? Never mind.
Well, is that a deep cut joke that I'm not going to get?
That singer from the
Katie
90s.
Tunstall. Yeah.
Right.
Oh.
Never mind.
Yeah. Suddenly
Hate
I
the world's
see.
Day.
Oh, I know that song.
Anyway.
Suddenly I see this is what I want to be.
All right.
Yeah.
One of those.
This is, I guess we should just say this now. This is all based on a true story.
Yes, it is.
Right. And in fact, there was a history professor that has been interviewed in a lot of documentaries on television, well-known history professor, who said that to date, this is the most accurate depiction of the Lincoln County War and what happened with Billy the Kid and his gang.
Really?
Not that it's
Because it's not even close to accurate.
It's the most accurate.
But it's the most accurate.
So if you want to make the most accurate one, you could start now, not that hard.
I mean,
that hard.
Oh, wow.
We'll talk.
Something.
I mean, if you got points to make as far as inaccuracies as we go, but just wanted to put that out there. That the movie itself is based on a true story.
Yeah.
Okay. And so there was a guy, Mr. Tunstall, who took in wayward youth. These guys were all 19, 20 years old at the time, and would educate them and try to teach them how to, read and write and do all these things, but also use them as muscle to guard his cattle and his property and all that stuff. So win-win for both sides.
Which is what the Island of Misfit Toys was about too.
Literally.
I'm sure.
Exactly. You know that
the heavies of
the jelly gun would be fighting off any what are Yetis that would try to come in and steal the other toys and eat the Jack in the Box that wouldn't
That's
work
right.
right.
You just need an Ambisol. But anyway, all right.
You don't know that one? No?
You don't watch Rudolph?
Dude, I got nothing. I'm sorry.
What was your childhood?
Have you met my father?
I understand that, but at Christmas time, it was on every channel. Never?
Yeah, no, not on my dad's one TV.
What did you guys just sit around and look at the wall?
We watched
Merry
whatever
Christmas,
my dad wanted
kids.
to watch.
Christmas Story?
He didn't watch nothing.
Christmas Vacation? Christmas Story?
Watched some of Christmas Story. I remember when he flings the lug nuts out of the hubcap and
His dad says
doesn't
something.
say fudge.
No, he doesn't.
And that resonated with you.
All right,
He
awesome.
says something.
They eat
Well-
a bite of soap.
We meet the other guys. They're there. Charlie Sheen's character, Bill. We meet Charlie himself, who's a pugilist. We find out.
Yeah.
We meet
Yes.
Dirty
Pugilist.
Steve, played by...
Dirty Steve Stevens.
That's right, with his big mouthful of chew for the entire movie.
Trash can.
Chavez.
God.
Okay, LDP is there.
That guy sucks.
What?
His character's existence sucked.
Dirty Steve?
Dirty
Yeah,
It's just
Dermot
because
Mulroney.
his mouth was
Yep,
full. I know he
absolutely.
hates whenever anybody's talking with their mouth full.
Can't stand it. This guy.
Wow, that's a big pet peeve of yours, huh?
That's why he
dude.
gave Jack Burton, because he's talking while he's eating a sandwich in the beginning. That's why he gave him the trash can.
All right.
And we also meet Bill as well, which is played by Charlie Sheen.
Bill.
Bill.
No, Dick.
I thought it was Bill.
Charlie Sheen is Dick.
Bill.
Dick.
All right.
Richard.
Charlie Sheen is Dick Brewer.
Yeah.
Oh.
Richard Brewer.
William is Emilio Estevez.
Oh, okay. I got my
Like Billy.
guys confused.
Billy.
Like literally Billy. Okay.
You got the brothers mixed up.
Anyway, Billy's there, and just so Chavez can show he means business, he just chucks some knives in the post
Chavez.
right next to him, like, just so you know I can do this, right?
Yeah.
Funk, 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 right into the post. They go and they pull those knives out, and this is their chance to introduce everybody. And so we get what's become a very famous clip of audio because it was used in Warren G and Nate Dogg's Regulators, the song, and it's Charlie going, we're regulators. We regulate any stealing of his property, and we're damn good, too. But you can't be any geek off the street. You got to be handy with the steel, if you know what I mean, earn your keep. That I knew that by heart because of the song. I've never seen the movie. So as soon as he
when you
starts
saw that.
Amazing.
saying the dialogue, I was
God
like,
damn it, that's where it's from.
I was like, what? Bam, 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 ba-down, down, bound down, down. It was
Man.
a clear black night. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, I couldn't believe this.
What an awesome moment of realization for you.
I was like, that's what this is
That's
from?
awesome.
My whole
Yes.
life.
Whole life?
That's changing.
You've seen half the movie then,
But also,
in your mind.
why, of all movies, why is Warren G sampling Regulators, the Regulators speech from Young Guns in 1988? Was it that popular of a movie back then?
Yes.
I mean,
and maybe he thought he was a badass with the gun.
You said it made how much money?
It made a ton of money.
Yeah.
So I mean, not.
I had always known of it. I mean, I saw it 20-some years ago just because I knew about it.
Maybe it helps him to reach across demographic groups as well and lasso in some more folks.
So Warren G was like, we got to get the hillbillies with this one. Let me get a clip from Young Guns. Perfect. Well, it worked because I was a hillbilly and now
it worked way later.
Here you are.
That's what we know about.
got me way in.
Yeah.
All right, so the boys are all sitting around. They're giving Billy a hard time. They're giving him a hard time outside. They're sitting around the dinner table, still giving him a hard time. What do they call it? We're just hacking on you.
We're just hacking on you.
Yep.
Right?
Why'd you kill a man?
He was hacking on me.
He was hacking on me.
And then, do you remember Ronnie does a gulp that was so fake? He went, gulp.
Yeah.
And I was like, that wrote, like in the script, it was like, and then he gulps because he realized it. And
So then you agree with Clint. He was the worst actor in the movie?
his
So far.
chewing wasn't my favorite.
Okay. Neither was apparently
Or
the Clint.
yeah.
No matter what.
No.
Yeah. Can someone tell? I was really confused for a second when he's like, you guys will do the dirty crockery tonight. I was like, what the hell does that mean?
Dishes.
You will do the crockery.
That's it. That means dishes?
Dishes, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, the crockery.
My God.
Wait a minute.
No, I didn't know.
They definitely like to pepper in fancy words, especially for Charlie, like pistolier or something.
Pistolier, yeah.
And
We had a
Pugilist.
right,
Right.
geek off the street.
They even
I mean,
make a thing about that, too. Like,
Yeah. I'm a pugilist.
pugilist.
You'll find out
You'll
later.
find out what that means.
Yeah, that's right. Which is
He's a punchy.
a puncher guy.
the puncher.
Puncher always has a chance.
They're giving him a hard time. You know, Billy isn't backing down though, right? He's kind of giving it right back, but they're all just kind of feeling each other out here, which is what I thought was happening with the dirty crockery, but I'm glad to find out that was just the dishes. Now, the next day, okay, Billy is so mad, okay, that they made him read in front of everybody that he's going to like shoot this pig in the face like he's out in the freaking pen. And this pig and him are like mortal enemies.
This pig that he keeps trying to
Slop.
wrestle with. And
Yeah, what is he even trying to do with the pig?
He's slopping the pigs.
What does that mean to slop a pig?
Feeding them. Initially, he was throwing the food out for him.
You can't just put the food out and be like, here you go, pig.
You know.
You got to wrestle him to the
it's like
ground and stuff it in their mouth.
An ADHD situation. He's
That's
a high school,
different.
that he's bored. It's slapping pigs. It's not very fun. So you look for excitement wherever you can find it. And you're like, well, this pig will give me some fight. I'll get you.
So he was wrestling the pig for fun.
Sure.
I think that.
and then he got frustrated.
And he was going to shoot the thing.
Then he was like, I can't take this pig, so I'm just going to shoot it in the face.
That's right. And then in rolls the number one guy,
Oh, wow.
wow.
Jack Palance, a.k.a. Mr. Murphy, who was doing his best Irish accent that I think Jack Palance could muster.
Yeah.
Because Jack Palance just sounds like Jack Palance,
Yes.
right?
That's all Jack Palance has to do, though.
Right. He didn't even need to do the Irish thing.
No.
I think like he dropped it after the first two sentences.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's a very inconsistent accent for him.
No.
It's unfortunate.
Well, when you move to America, sometimes you pick up things and you go back. Maybe
That's
that was
true.
it. He was doing his best immigrant who's latching on to the new accent.
Got it.
There was a whole thing on purpose, right?
Right, because the Irish people were so discriminated against, he wanted to bury that
Gotta
down.
get in. And
Yeah.
Wow, you guys went deep in the weeds on this.
that's why you come to us.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
Like when he was a boy in New York City and they were like, wait, this guy's Irish. And he's like, wait, no, I'm not. I'm
not.
American.
He cried a single tear and moved on.
Yeah.
Went to a new place.
That's the whole backstory.
Yeah.
That was it.
Wow.
Thank you.
Well, he goes up to, he rolls up, he's got his whole goon squad with him, and basically he's trying to intimidate Mr. Tunstall. And he goes up and he says this pretty horrible thing to him. He goes, I'm like, should I try and do Jack Palance? I can't even do it.
Not in the way he does it in the movie.
I had you pegged as the type that likes educating young boys. Which,
Sure.
that's not what he's talking about.
That's not at all what
No.
he's talking about.
Well, I mean, you know,
Yeah.
educating. in the-
Educating.
They thought he was into youngins.
Right.
Young youngins?
What he's insulting him basically.
That's what
Right.
Ebert thought he was here for, too.
Right. And then they're there's something I always said they're beefing about beef contracts. That's really what
True.
they're
That's
beefing.
where they got the term beefing.
That's exactly from this movie.
What?
We just discovered something.
I'm not sure that's true.
It's probably true. We don't do any research to back anything up. All right, but he's mad about beef contracts. He's mad about the American Revolution or something. He's like, we're not going to lay down in front of you. I'm like, didn't they lose the American Revolution? Why are you still mad at this British guy about the American Revolution?
won, yeah.
That you guys won? I don't know. There's some kind of vague
It's money.
dispute about money.
It's money.
Right, because Terrence Stamp is like, I've got a store and a beef farm, and so do you, and you want to try and make money, I'm going to try and make money, and we'll just see what happens, right?
Yeah.
Like there's not enough beef buyers.
Back then, especially.
To support 2 beefers.
Right.
Right?
In the entirety of New Mexico.
I think that's what they call it.
Right.
Yeah,
The people who are going to fight each other.
They're beefing.
Beefers. They were beefing.
I'm a beefer. You'll find out later what that means.
Kiefer Sutherland.
Kiefer Sutherland.
I couldn't not. I had to.
It's perfect. Billy watches this whole exchange from inside the pig pen, and then they all ride away. But it was pretty threatening. The next day, McCluskey shows up.
Weird.
At the Island of Misfit Boys.
Who thought?
Okay.
I mean,
and he's like, just so you know, I'm totally not one of Murphy's guys anymore, and I'm definitely not a spy. I'd like to live here and be on your team. Wink, wink, wink.
Yeah.
right.
I knew before he even finished his sentence that this guy's a spy.
Mole.
He's a mole.
You mean?
I mean, immediately.
I called Murphy a fat sow.
Right. Oh, that checks out.
That checks out. Come on in.
No problem. Bunkhouse is over here.
That's what he says.
In fact,
bunkhouse is over there. All right.
Perfect. Here are the keys. Now we cut to the New Year's Eve party. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go dancing.
They're gonna go dancing. How hard do these guys like to party? I'm gonna tell you, spoons and accordions.
Right.
Dude.
Okay.
I almost turned it off.
Yeah.
It was too much.
At the same time.
Yeah.
I was like, I would love to be at one of those parties.
Emilio Estevez.
Yeah.
Assumedly a day before was wanted for whatever crime, and they were going to hang him.
Yeah.
So he was running out of town, and they rescued him. And I assume that that's why he was hiding underneath the porch or pig pen or whatever it was.
Pig pen porch.
Pig pen porch? Yes, it was the same thing.
Right there with Kiefer Sutherland.
Yeah. And so, that's why he was hiding under there instead of coming out with his gun drawn and stuff like that. The whole time the dude was there. And now, all of a sudden, let's just go back to town and
we'll
hang
have a
out for
party.
this party.
Yeah.
And
And I'll just stand right here out in the open.
New year, new me.
No, new year, new me.
That's what it is.
I also, just quickly going back to the pig thing, I think a lot of movie makers like to show someone's crazy by the way that they interact with animals. And maybe just having them look at I'm not afraid of you, and all they have is a pig. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe that was part of it too.
Billy is unhinged.
Yes.
100% unhinged.
98%.
I was gonna give him maybe 63% unhinged.
Because he was hinged enough.
Oh, good for you.
Doc, this is Kiefer Sutherland's character, not Beefer Sutherland. That's the pig. Oh, it's a pig named Beefer. That makes even less sense.
Good one.
We're really going off the rails here.
All right. Kiefer Sutherland meets this girl, Yen Soon, at the dance. Okay, goes up and she's standing next to Mr. Murphy, Jack Palance, and he asks her to dance, and Jack Palance's like, of course, and sends them off to dance and whatever. And they dance for a minute, and then Mr. Murphy comes back and hold on, I just found out that you suck and you're on the other team, so
right.
I'm sorry.
Well, he doesn't even know who his guys are for the sharing of his in-house entertainment.
Right.
Oh. I realized I recognized you from the other day.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
And
that's right. You're the guy who had the gun pointed at me just a couple hours ago.
Because you know how many men there were around the area. So many.
So many. And they're not he's not one of your guys, okay? We find out that she's a prisoner of Murphy's for the cost of a shirt, right? And that her mother, Yenseng's mother,
ruined a shirt.
Ruined a
he
shirt.
was having cleaned, yeah.
Right. And to pay for the shirt, he just took her daughter.
Wow.
That's
powerful.
Yeah.
That's expensive.
Yeah. No, it is.
I mean, my daughter cost me $300 to get from the hospital.
Yeah.
That's in a lot of shirt.
But this, like I said, this was a real dude. It was a real dude, and he was a part of what they call, the loop. Was it the loop or the hoop? I don't remember. The circle?
Maybe.
The hoop. I think it's not which is they were trying to break this corruption in this,
ring
in Lincoln County. The ring. Maybe it was the ring. That was something. The loop hoop ring.
The one ring.
The loop hoop ring. The one ring.
I mean, I guess
this
they're
is
all
a real dude.
Kind of the same shape.
You know what? Oh, Nicole, you'll love this.
Uh-oh.
Do you know what the only other movie that's depicted the events of the Lincoln County War and Billy the Kid's gang is?
No.
Chisholm.
Oh, no.
Come on. No way.
I thought it was free of that.
Chisholm.
Yeah.
It's the movie starring John Wayne, who plays John Chisholm. But
Chisholm,
there's also
yeah.
Tunstall and Billy the Kid and all those
Which
guys.
is
in the
fine
same
on
thing.
its own.
Yeah.
So
When you keep singing it starts getting weird.
yeah, but
There's
that's
a
the
lot
only
of
other movie. We could also do that.
There's a few movies with Billy the Kid.
Yeah, but it depicts specifically this.
Yes. Chisholm with John Wayne. This movie.
Yeah, this movie.
And then
Yeah. All right. So we're still at the New Year's Eve party, right? Okay. Murphy sees that Tunstall's there, and he looks around at his goons. He's like, all right, which one of you has the biggest mustache? All right, you go mess with Tunstall and this guy with this giant
almost exactly what happened.
handlebar mustache. Like, all right, sir, dirt, I'll go out there. And this is where Charlie gets in his way and says, you and I have a problem, right? That's right, isn't it? You and I think. Yep.
You and me have it. It's you and I, isn't it?
You and I.
Yeah.
And then we find out that Charlie's a pugilist, and he just beats the crap out of this dude.
There were some really fake punching sounds added.
What, like two boards slapping together?
It's like just a steak. Just someone just punching a steak.
That's probably what the sound effect was.
Right.
That's good.
Foley artist.
Someone with the Foley artists.
And then it's time for a Happy New Year, and they all fire every round straight into the sky.
Not like bullets cost money for them with all the
No.
no.
Or that
Bullets come back down.
falling bullets is a real thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
So they lost 3 farmhands that day, but it was fun.
They come out to their field, all their cows are dead. And their 3 farmhands are like, what happened?
Bullets go pretty far, right?
Yeah, but I've heard of people getting killed by falling bullets.
Sure.
Oh, yeah, it happens.
But like the likelihood of shooting straight up and down enough for it to fall into the square.
No, that's what I'm saying.
gonna
They
be
went
out
back
in
to their
town
farm.
somewhere,
They went back to their farm, and all their cows were dead, and 3 of their farmhands. Just like very confused as to what happened.
All the ranch hands on the outskirts of town.
You didn't get to go to the party anyway.
I mean, they're
yeah.
only going to be accelerated by gravity, so they're not going to be going like super fast.
Come on.
Raining bullets.
You know what? Who doesn't love a good gun shooting in the sky scene?
Oh yeah,
Pow,
man.
pow, pow.
Everyone's
Yeah.
got their own fireworks in their
They
pockets.
brought blanks.
Dude, there's that great pull out.
Yeah.
You know, the camera's pulling out down the street, and the whole town is just like,
Everybody.
choo.
The old grandma that was sitting on the porch was like, suddenly had two handguns.
Right.
She's firing them
Like
all.
someone just runs out of a balcony just to shoot a gun. It's like, yeah, what are we doing? I don't
Are you guys complaining that there was too much gunplay?
No,
I
that
know
was
somebody
Gene
else who
Siskel.
did that.
That was Gene Siskel that did that. Oh my gosh.
Wait a minute, they're firing guns in a movie called Young Guns?
Here's where the plot starts to kick into motion here.
Oh, boy.
On the way back to the island of Misfit Boys, these boys see some turkeys and decide to chase them,
Yeah.
right?
It's been a lonely night.
Oh, boys will be boys. Go ahead, Billy. It's fine.
Yep.
And as they go chase the turkeys, Murphy and the boys all ride up behind him and kill Tunstall. They all shoot him. And his death scene was slightly... In fact, there are many scenes in this movie.
It's
where
like the
death
bullets
scenes
lifted him up first.
He got shot and he stood up,
Yes, he levitated.
like levitated up, and then leapt from
It's difficult to fall off of a cart without standing up out of the chair.
right, as he's getting by like 1,000 bullets at the same time.
But only 3 of them hit him, so,
Right.
you know.
Boo, 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 death. And he jumps out from the thing. Only Billy sees it. And he's just dead. And I'm sitting there going, well, hope the turkey was good. I
I was going to say, what are them boys going to do with that turkey?
just want to get to a scene where they're all sitting there in quiet, like just eating it later and just be like, look, guys.
No, they're sitting in the circle, reading to each other, petting the turkey on the head who's listening into the reading
And they
circle.
named him Tunstall.
They named him Tunstall.
Yep.
I just thought it'd be Dirty Steve as they're all sitting there eating, going, like, I know it wasn't the best situation, but this is actually really good.
This is a damn good turkey.
Amazing.
It's a good thing we left.
He's eating
right.
a leg later on in the movie, isn't he?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, he's got
If they just hadn't, maybe they all die if they don't. I mean, who knows? But
Yeah. So the turkey was like sent from heaven.
Murphy
sent
planted the
turkey.
turkeys. He released the turkeys. That son of a dude.
That's low. That is so low.
This dude's out here playing chess, not checkers.
Right.
Dude.
With 3 levels.
You want to know something, too?
Yeah.
In that scene that you just referenced from Training Day,
Yeah.
and Denzel Washington says, "Get your ink,"
Yeah.
and he holds up his thing, his tattoo says regulators.
Does it?
Yes.
No.
Guys, I already played the song. I don't want to play it again, but that's incredible.
Yes.
Incredible.
Detective Alonzo Harris.
When they say regulators, let's dance, I don't think Warren G used that phrase, and I think he should have.
That would have been right. That would have been
there was
most opportune
copyright
for
stuff
him.
with David Bowie.
I don't know.
Oh, that'd have been great. Actually,
We need regulators dose.
And there was a lot of saddle up too instead of mount ups and stuff.
they,
Like, come
they
on.
did say mount up once. I feel like it was. I thought I heard it.
I don't remember hearing
could have said
them
any
say
of it.
mount up.
Yeah.
And they could have said regulators roll out.
I thought in Mexico I heard them say mount up, but
They very well may have.
Yeah.
But I heard a lot of saddle up, regulators, saddle up.
Right.
Damn.
Now Terry O'Quinn's character shows up. Terry O'Quinn, who we just saw as the mayor in Tombstone.
He looks a little bit like Bill Hader, kind of.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, famously played John Locke in Lost.
I was going to say a young Terry Quinn here.
Yes.
Not,
And
not the one we know from Lost.
no, he plays a lawyer named Alex who's also trying to break the loop hoop ring, whatever they are, and
Loop Hoop Ring.
the loop hoop ring. I got to say that correctly and be very careful. But his plan is to deputize the boys to go and serve the warrants on Murphy's men who killed Tunstall.
That seems like a fantastic plan.
Right. Let's
Nothing
deputize
could possibly go wrong.
these 19,
with
20-year-olds.
these wayward kids who now want revenge.
Nothing could go wrong.
Yeah.
No
Let's give them all
chance.
badges.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what was hilarious to me is the way they get sworn in. Again, there are these moments where it suddenly gets really stylized.
Yes.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And that's like, did Alex walk into the barn and go, okay, guys, here's how you become deputies. You all slap 5 with the Bible and then stand back and pose.
That's what time.
Right.
And it's like this really dramatic, like close up of the Bible, really fast pull out,
Yeah.
really fast
As
pull
a
out.
good
I'll
thing-
just turn and
They're like,
pose for a camera that I guess it's there.
Right.
The camera's there in this time, right
daguerreotype,
now.
mayhaps. But they also had 6 pins ready to go.
Yeah. Just right there in his pocket.
That seems.
When
it
he was
takes
trying
a
to
while.
talk that guy into doing, he's like, oh, well, I got the pins already in my
Fine.
pocket, so we can just go
Oriental
ahead and do
Trading
this.
sells them.
Does somebody have a Bible they can slap 5 with really quick and then a
Pose.
video camera we can do a quick pan out of? It's kind of ridiculous. All right. So first stop they go to is Henry Hill's shack, which is one of Murphy's guys. And so they send, when I say they, Charlie Sheen, who kind of butts heads with Billy here a little bit.
Yeah. Sure.
Sends Billy in to go get him, go bring him outside, right?
Right.
And so Billy walks in, and there's a bunch of
Surveys
dudes,
the situation. It's
covers
like a bar,
up
right?
covers up his pin, right?
Yeah.
I'm definitely not a cop. Even though
You didn't see that.
nobody saw that.
You didn't see that.
I didn't see it. Hears that Henry Hill is there. Yes, I am Henry Hill, and I have to go to the bathroom.
I'm going to go take a
Basically
leak. Yeah.
what that guy
Yeah.
said. So he runs outside and meets him in the bathroom, and I get hung up on the weirdest things. But do they have multiple people bathrums back then?
Probably not.
That was
Probably
just
not,
a
because-
slop line that they were
Something-
peeing in there.
It literally was.
It literally was a
Because he literally
trench.
falls into
Okay.
He
it in the
jumps
next.
out of the window
yeah.
and falls
So
in
was it because immediately looked like he was just like you going to a John at a modern day place where there's like
Like a baseball game.
a baseball game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, that was a thing already. But yeah, so he goes in to relieve himself in the trough or whatever,
Yeah.
like he's at Wrigley Field.
The public trough.
No ice.
And
Probably smelled terrible.
oh, you think so? Everything in this movie smelled terrible. You
my
could smell
gosh.
Dirty Steve through my television.
Yeah.
Okay. He goes in there and he goes, you Henry Hill? He turns around, says, you're under arrest, looks down.
This is so great. He's got the gun out of his fly. So it's like he's hanging onto his.
Right. Because they're going to the bathroom.
They're going to the bathroom.
And he's got
turns
the
around,
big-
he looks down, wham!
Just big old
him.
dumb grin on his face.
Yeah.
Can't wait to just kill the guy. He doesn't try to serve the warrant at
Nope.
all. Just shoots the guy. He just murders him.
He blows him away.
Yeah.
And then comes up and says, by the way, you're under arrest.
You're under arrest?
And puts the warrant in his mouth. Yes.
Gunfight ensues.
Come
Awesome.
on.
That was awesome.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Did it happen that way in real life?
Who cares?
Who cares?
Probably
It probably did.
50-50. I mean, I assume they talked to the guy before they made the movie.
That's right.
Yeah, sure. Uh-huh.
They had a seance. You can still do that.
But yes, and then gunfight ensues, and this is when he falls out. He jumps out of the window into literally the piss river.
Into the piss river.
Latrine
Oh,
river,
and
yeah.
he's like, that was disgusting.
Yep.
Yeah. But they're
Moving
able,
right along.
they're able to get away. You don't want to talk about the piss river
I'm good.
coming out from underneath
I'm all
the
set.
trough? Okay.
They kill like 15 more people. There was only 6 there.
Yeah.
I don't know how they did it. It was amazing.
It's like a clown car, that place. They just kept pouring out of it.
It's true, though. And then he's like reading the newspaper
The
article.
next day,
scene.
yeah, right.
I like how the newspaper had it all like buttoned up like right away too.
Where was there? There was nobody there to have seen what had happened.
Yes.
A 1940s reporter pulled up right after they left with a cigar, and he was like, I saw the whole thing, you know, and they just, that's exactly
He
what
probably checked the closed circuit television.
Right. That's it.
they checked the feed.
I just like, yeah, it's the the reporters in 1878, they were on it.
They were on it,
like
dude.
we got to wait at least 2 weeks before we get facts about anything.
Right.
Well,
Even
that's
now.
because we got to get the no facts first.
That's right, exactly.
As they're sitting there reading the newspaper back in Lincoln, this is when Doc spots Yin Sung in the street. And I thought this was a pretty cringy scene. He just runs out. Hi, I got you flowers. I'm a poet. Stop!
Yeah. Honestly, that particular, the way he said stop made me think he like would be abusive or something, even though he otherwise isn't. I didn't like that.
He suddenly got really, because she's just walking. Obviously, probably not wanting to get in trouble with Mr. Murphy.
Yes, her benefactor.
And he's trying to rizz her up with like dead wheat or something. Is what
I picked this wheat for you.
This,
It's inedible.
Pick this bouquet of
yes.
dead flowers.
Their whole relationship, which I guess we can get into right now, none of it worked for me.
No, it's terrible.
It's awful.
It's terrible.
Yeah, it's cringy for sure.
It's really the only romantic subplot in the entire movie.
Absolutely. And I'm sure they're like, this is going to make the girls go nuts.
Yeah, not even for a second, I'm assuming. Nicole, you're a girl?
Yes.
Did you go nuts?
Did not go
way
nuts.
Too long
There we go.
I just wanted, I didn't know if there were sources I had to
No,
check
that's as
online.
scientific as it, as it comes.
Great.
You can always check. You never know.
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
Fine.
Great.
All right, so some trackers are now there's, Murphy's got his own trackers after him. They're out there sniffing some horse shit looking for these boys. They're like, oh, yes, based on this, I can tell exactly where these boys are. But they all...
This horse is eating berries from the
This
county
horse just ate some. That's exactly what he
This is definitely their horse.
This is definitely their horse, and he just ate some berries from the tree over on that side of the mountain.
How do you get to be an expert horse crap sniffer? That's just a question that I...
It's Indeed.com.
He got his job.
I'm like, you know how much crap this guy had to sniff to be get Charlie over here.
Who does the test? It's like, nope. Not even close.
Oh, Charlie's good at sniffing horse crap. He knows all kinds of stuff.
He knows all kinds of horse crap. Matter of fact, pig crap, horse crap.
How do you get to that? I don't want to know how you
Bird
rise to
crap.
that level of
I'll sniff any
There
crap.
weren't a lot of choices, really.
jobs.
That guy really knows this shit.
Ooh. Hey-o. Anyway, the boys are all around him. They all just pop into frame. But from the wide shot, there wasn't a lot of hiding place.
No.
I'm like, where were they hiding? Behind the pebbles in the street? They were just laying down,
They were hiding
covering
behind the
themselves
plot.
with rocks. Because they all just pop up and they're right there.
I mean,
They dug holes.
we really want to get into the mise en scene of the film.
Sure.
But,
We.
So yes, they dug holes. That's what they did.
Yeah,
they
had to.
Prince of Thieves.
Put rocks on top.
really quickly dug holes, put rocks on top of them, and
Right.
they're like,
And
this is
like,
perfect.
They'll find the horse crap. They'll bring that guy.
They
to
planted-
It's the chess again.
They planted the horse crap.
Those are the cranberries from the turkey dinner.
That's right. The Misfit Boys were like, we can play chess too, Mr. Murphy.
The 3-level kind. From Star. Whatever.
I did like Billy's line when he pops up. Buenos dias, shitheads.
The lesson in language.
It is. And as they're all gathered around talking about, and Charlie Sheen is really trying to be like, we ain't gonna kill nobody this
We ain't
time.
gonna kill nobody.
Serve
All right.
warrants. Bringing them in.
Warrants, you freaking idiots. We're
He
not
wanted
doing
to
it.
do it right.
Right.
I like how he said Fargan a couple times.
Fargan ice holes. Right. Come on, man.
We truly needed somebody to get deported.
So let's just say that they did like 6 warrants, right? Like A, B, C, D, E, F. And then they're like, okay, that's enough. But then when they got to warrant G,
Come on. They regulated.
they regulated.
Don't do that while I'm drinking.
That's got to be worth like 10.
I can't do that. That's abuse, but it is worth more.
Stupid. So stupid.
It's awesome. That's an all-timer.
That's a good one.
She's crying.
Oh my god!
I'm both sorry and happy for everybody. You're all welcome, and you have my apologies.
Oh my gosh.
That's Oscar level
That's good
screenwriting
stuff right there. All right. So here's what Charlie Sheen is up against. Billy is a psychotic nut job.
Yes.
Which he's historically known to be. And he wants to take these boys, but it seems like he's going to give in to what Charlie Sheen wants and take them through some other town. But McCluskey's like, oh, well, that'd definitely be an ambush. We should take them through Lincoln, right? No, actually, you just hear him over in the background. We should take them through Lincoln. Oh, who said that?
My sock puppet.
Yeah.
Oh, is that weird? I think that's a good idea, though.
Yeah, it's one of the guys on the ground.
Take him through Lincoln. And Billy's the only one's like, this dude's obviously a spy. And nobody else believes him. And he goes, all right, you're right. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I didn't find you out sooner. And shoots him
Bam.
right in the face.
Colt.
Point blank. Brain spatter all over Kiefer.
Right.
Yes.
Yep.
And Charlie pulls his gun at Billy. And Kiefer, even though he just got brain matter all over, like probably in his nose, just goes, no, he's telling the truth. He like defends Billy. And they end up having to gun down everybody because everyone uses that as a chance to try and make a break for it.
Right.
They all get gunned down.
Yeah, the horse pooper.
Charlie Sheen has just about had enough, dude.
Yeah.
Like they just keep killing everybody
Right.
instead of serving these warrants. And I did like after he shot him, he goes, court's adjourned.
Yeah.
Little John, I'm like, this dude is psycho.
I mean, the actual Emilio must have been so stoked to play this role.
Yes.
Like, this is a serious role, but I get to really show what I'm made of and what he's made of.
Yeah. I'll say it now. I was going to say
If only
this
it
later.
worked for him.
I think it did work for him. We did Maximum Overdrive. Were you here for that?
Yes.
Okay, Maximum Overdrive. We talked about how terrible he was.
He was awful in Maximum
Awful.
Overdrive.
Love that movie.
I love that movie
yes.
too.
I
But
don't
his
care how
performance-
bad. Yeah.
His performance is terrible. We also gave him. I think we said he couldn't act his way out of a paper bag when we did Free Jack. I mean, that was terrible.
Yes.
Free Jack also.
He's not
So-
good in Free Jack.
I'll be the first one to point out when Estevez, I actually thought this part suited him really well. And I thought, as bad as he was in those two movies, I thought he killed it in this movie, personally. You might have a different opinion, and if you want to nominate him for a trash can later, it's well within your right to do so. But personally, I thought that Emilio Estevez killed this part and seemed like he had a blast doing it and actually did a really good job. So I want to give credit where credit is due after hammering this guy for 2 other episodes.
You're all right.
Yeah.
63%.
All right. That's fine. That's a passing grade. I'll take it. That's a pass.
Solid D-. We'll go with it.
All right. So now they're in hiding, right? Because they just kill these people. And they're already reading a newspaper. I'm like, where'd they get this
Where did the
newspaper?
With a
come
picture.
from?
With a drawn picture.
Right.
A good one.
A drone dropped it off.
In this movie, as anachronistic as it was,
There it is.
think,
Yeah.
that would probably be legit. But they find out from the newspaper that John Kinney is coming. Okay. And he can whoop ass.
That's what they find out.
Is
That
what
John
they find
Kinney
out,
has
yeah.
now been, John Kinney
Bounty
and his guys have now been hired by
Right.
Murphy to come get him.
And so how do they solve this problem? LDP says it's time to do some peyote.
Yeah.
Enter the spirit
Let's
world.
do it.
Dude, this is
I just happened to find these 6 perfect pieces of cacti in the snow over here.
That's right. That's right. There's
make
just
you up some tea.
make some tea.
Let's make everybody some tea.
Drink this peyote. It was so out of left field. I did not expect this scene in this movie.
It went a long time, more than I expected.
It did go on a bit,
And
but it was
I
still
feel like
good.
someone read like the DSM or whatever it is, whatever medical journal or something where it said what can happen if you are smoking
All the
peyote.
6 different
All the
possible-
different ways you'll react.
Right.
My favorite though is Charlie, who just barfs and he's like, "This is great. This is great."
Yeah.
I'm like, you
That
enjoy
was
it,
good.
Charlie.
You get Dirty Steve obsessing about the size of a chicken.
There's
and then
chicken.
Do you see the size of this chicken?
Keeps shooting his gun.
Then you get Kiefer, who's like, she like a butterfly.
I love this scene with Kiefer.
And I'm
I
the
love
flower. I'm a flower. And she's a butterfly.
I'm a
I
butterfly.
am a butterfly.
She's a butterfly and I'm a butterfly.
But it was, I'm like,
Or I'm
is
her
it supposed
butterfly.
to be funny? Like, it made me uncomfortable because I'm like, am I laughing at someone who is
It's okay.
having a hard time? Like, what is it? So
I think it was supposed to be comedy.
yeah,
comedic.
okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it was definitely that where it's like, Chavez knows exactly what he's doing.
Right.
Yeah.
But these other white dudes that he's been living with are like, whoa, nope.
And I laughed legitimately as they rode through the, there's like an Indian encampment.
Yes.
Upside down or backwards on his horse.
He's like, why aren't they killing us? Because we're in the spirit world. They don't see us.
Can't see us.
And then cuts Billy. Did you know we're in the spirit world? Like to the that got me. I thought it was a good scene.
It was a fun scene.
Then they get to somewhere. They're held up trying to have dinner, and they find that Buckshot Roberts is riding in.
Yeah.
Okay, another guy that they're all scared of. Right. This dude was awesome.
They're having it out because Dick and Billy are having it out again about the prayer
power struggle.
Yeah, because you got Charlie Sheen doing the prayer. And
Super long prayer. I just want to eat.
That's right. It's gonna get cold.
So because of that, let's just pull our guns on each other.
Right.
Yeah, why not?
They need hobbies real bad.
I could have killed you.
Could have killed you right there. Yeah.
I love Buckshot Roberts.
Buckshot Roberts.
It's an old dude. I know he's like there to kill them, like the main characters who we're supposed to be rooting for.
Yeah.
But this old dude didn't give a crap.
Bullshit.
It didn't give a crap, dude.
There are
Even in
6 young dudes.
Yeah. 5 feet
And
away.
2 of them who are ridiculously fast guns.
Yeah.
This guy comes walking up and and these guys are already guns out and stuff like that. He's guns down, and all of a sudden he's like,
Let's dance.
all right, screw it, let's dance, and gives him the time to start firing rounds. Nope, dead on the spot. Doesn't get a shot off with both long guns pointed at the ground.
Drops to his knees.
Yeah, no way.
And starts shooting. They all run for cover.
They're scared.
They're scared. I mean, maybe it's his reputation.
There's one
that
extra
precedes
guy,
it.
I swear, who runs across from right to left that wasn't there before. I swear.
Like, hold on a second.
like behind the, like front of the barn.
That's not Beaver or Sutherland.
No.
Who is that?
It's the key grip.
Did he have a baseball hat on?
Who's that over there?
Yeah,
I
agree though. They're when he even says "Let's dance" and drops to his knees, they're 5 feet apart.
Yeah, there's no way.
Right.
But Charlie,
Even if he gets 1 or 2, he goes down.
Right.
yes, the gunfight in and of itself is not very well blocked, but like the reputation preceding him when Charlie's like, oh, it's Buckshot Roberts.
Right.
He's killed more people than smallpox.
That's what it was. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And he wings Chavez. Right
away.
Like right away.
He gets him with that first shot. Yeah, dude.
And
when
Doc
he's
gets shot in the hand.
When
right?
Buckshot's just like, I'm here, I ain't with them anymore. I'm just here for the bounty.
150
150 for him. Rest of you are 110, but I'll take it.
Yeah.
Let's dance.
Right. Great attitude. The performance was great.
Oh, the nonchalantness of him just like, all right, let's do it, boys. Like,
yeah. But you're right. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous situation.
They were all too chalant.
I'm just here for the bounty. Boom.
it's the thing.
And you throw paper towels at him.
Look,
I'm here for the bounty.
Call it.
Take your bounty and go home.
I quickly picked you up.
I can't believe that.
I'm sorry. All right.
No, it's amazing.
Okay.
I can't believe we're already on our 3rd Caruso.
Here's honestly the thing I had a harder time with than the not killing him immediately is when Buckshot runs into the outhouse. I'm like, is that outhouse bulletproof?
They shoot the snot out of this outhouse.
Why didn't someone run around the back of it?
100 bullets, yes, or that.
Do we not see the gun sticking out of the front of a wood outhouse?
Or that. But there's just like those planks they're not going to stop 100 bullets.
Right.
From slicing up whoever's inside that outhouse.
Nope.
But every time they think, oh, he's got to be dead, they run out, he shoots at them again. Until finally, Charlie Sheen gets up, and the barrel comes straight out of the thing, shoots him dead center in his chest, and then we get just another weird death scene after Tunstall's death scene, of Charlie just...
His head bounced so many times.
Just gyrating in the...
He did gyrate quite awkwardly.
Quite awkwardly, and then falls down. I'm like, okay, Charlie.
I'm going to say at that point, there's a few times in the movie, and that one was one of the big ones.
Yeah.
These guys are fantastic actors.
Yeah.
There's no way that's how Charlie wanted to play a death scene.
I can't imagine it was.
There has to be a failure here. The script is compelling, based on a true story. The story is good. The actors are phenomenal. They obviously know how to shoot the movie. This thing is let down
It's almost
by whoever said "flop like a fish."
It's almost that the director of the movie
hasn't done
failed
right.
the entire movie.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Like there was nobody there.
Well, you look at his when you look at the director's bona fides, you think maybe that's a possible.
I think he also told them like this is going to be stylized,
right?
In a way, it's going to be so cool. Like Kiefer's reading poetry, and people are going to go nuts. Like they were going to have this extended peyote scene. People are going to love it.
Yeah,
everything's too long, and that's awesome.
Yeah, like every shot was like should have been cut a little like 2 seconds before it actually was. And,
yeah.
All that stuff.
And he tells Charlie, he's like, hey, you remember that movie you were in, Platoon?
Yeah.
Can you just do what Willem Dafoe did?
Yeah.
Just do that again?
You can save or kill a film in the editing bay. You can.
Oh, yeah.
And so even if you have a director making crappy choices like that, you can still save it in the edit.
Knock some of it out.
Right? But they neither of that.
Well, the editor doesn't have a good eye.
So they try to run, and Chavez wants to run west, but Billy is kind of goading him.
By the way, he healed real well from that. Yeah.
There was a leg shot or whatever.
He got shot in the abdomen. No,
he got shot in the abdomen.
Side.
That's right. Yeah.
He was like, whatever.
Well, he's LDP.
You're right.
He just flexes it out.
And he just did a bunch of peyote.
Right. Just rub it on there.
True. Billy's goading him into finishing the fight. Like, don't run away. We got to finish this fight. It's not over yet. And LDP gives this speech about the Red Sand Reservation that he came from. And I thought he killed this.
He went all in on that monologue.
Killed it.
For sure.
Yeah. And about how they, got delivered rotten beef from Murphy. So they all got the little band of guys together and rode out to avenge whatever had happened. Come back to find that everybody there was murdered. And he was the only one to survive.
Yeah.
The whole thing. And he was crying, he's screaming, he's just so well done. Because again, I gave this guy so much crap for the big hit and his ridiculous performance in that movie, but this killed it.
The only thing I think is that's a negative about it isn't his fault again. It's the way that the movie was set up. It sort of felt like suddenly deep when things weren't. So I was like, it wasn't supported.
Wasn't earned?
Somehow. Or just like, it just seemed like people in the audience were like, whoa.
Oh, dang.
Yeah. Well,
oh, dang. Yeah. Of it like flowing or making sense.
Additionally, too, he had such a good reason for what he was thinking. I think he was talked back into it very shallowly. It didn't take
Billy much to get him to be.
It didn't take a lot.
Right.
Oh, you're not a man. Cool.
All right, fine. I'll come back with you guys.
It's kind of exactly what he does. It's the way that Billy like manipulates him into just saying yes to finishing the fight is kind of stupid.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Doc goes back into Lincoln because he's a simp for this girl that he danced with.
Yep. And danced with one time.
Yeah.
And he calls it the China doll.
The China doll. And he gets up into her room and she's like, don't eat me. Like she's been fed some misinformation.
At least he didn't start putting water in her mouth.
That's true.
Like melted ice or something,
The ice cube in the mouth. That move was only reserved for the coolest of G's.
The coolest of ice.
That's right.
Delivery people.
But he goes, she's like, don't eat me. He's like, no, I can't live without you. Remember that one time we talked? I cannot live my entire life without you now. I kept your flowers. I couldn't believe any of this crap. Yeah. I kept your flowers in my mind and I want to go away with you. It's so ridiculous because, again, it's totally unearned, all of it. And I don't believe a word she's saying.
No.
And then she's like, my past. And then he goes, the past is like an old yellow novel. When you're done, you throw it out and you start a new one. And finally we hear Palance mercifully. I was like, please come in this scene. Get upstairs.
Anybody.
Quick, somebody get up there. Murphy comes up the stairs. He gets out the window. And as Murphy comes in, he comes in. And she's looking dead at the window.
Which is open.
As the window shades are, or as the blinds.
And you hear him going.
The curtains are waving in the wind. You
out
hear
the window.
Horse riding away.
Like a raccoon.
I'm like, Yen-san, don't stare at the window. At least be like, what? What are you talking about? Yeah. Oh, the window's open?
I was coughing.
She rolls over like, oh, sorry, I was asleep.
She's just dead ass staring at the window, not helping the situation at all. Billy, this is another amazing scene. Billy rolls up on Sheriff Brady, who's one of the people on his hit list, right? That helped, the conspiracy to kill Tunstall. Billy rolls up on Sheriff Brady in the street, takes his own gun out of his holster from behind him, and kills him in the street,
and doesn't die. How?
Power play.
Doesn't die. Because the other three guys start falling all over themselves. Right. Like the one dude almost tripped over backwards over the horse, the hitching post.
Yeah.
Yes,
was hilarious.
Yeah.
They're falling all over each
And
other.
then as he's tripping over the hitching post, that's when like Dirty Steve gets him with the shotgun and all that. Yeah.
They're they just caught him by surprise, I guess is what you'd say.
What did he say to him? I can't remember the line.
To Sheriff?
What does Emilio say?
I can't remember either.
Dang.
Something.
It was good.
It was good.
Yes, it was amazing.
Oh, remember that awesome?
Oh, dude.
It was good.
It was a really good line.
Yeah,
but,
it was really good.
Yeah.
What did he say?
Oh my
Remember
God.
that part
You have the whole
when he
movie.
went in there and shot the guy in the street?
It's right there too.
And that was an awesome part.
It was right around an hour into the movie, wasn't it?
Oh.
I'll just let this play on silent while we wait for it. All right, so somebody let me know when that stupid commercial is done. They're shooting the dudes falling all over each other. Alex, this is when
We are 45 this year, so this is very poignant.
Everyone's really enamored with this colon guard commercial.
Yeah.
And he's painting, of
I am
course.
definitely going to paint a Cologuard box right after I receive
I'm
mine.
not playing the audio because I don't want to give them free publicity, but we just said
We
the
just
name
did
of
it.
the
Sorry.
That's okay.
You can
We said colon guard.
colon. Yeah, you're right. They'll never find
They'll
it.
never
Super colon blow.
Colon blow. Those are my favorite SNL commercials of all time. Phil Hartman with colon blow.
Yeah.
Would take 75,000 boxes of the other stuff, and he's this huge pyramid. All right.
Brady, we're gonna have a lot of fun now.
All right, so here we go. Billy's walking up behind him.
Yes, with the awkward
I feel like we just threw the red challenge flag in a football game, and now we're going back to the
Skip
review.
it.
He's skipping, yeah.
It's
Ew, Dermot.
I hate
come on.
Could he have gotten any more tobacco in that mouth?
No.
Ew.
There you go. Just for you.
Charlie's trying to be a bit bad mama jamma.
Oh, he throws the hat. That's right.
Top of the morning to you, girls.
all facing.
That's what it was.
Every single one of them is facing it.
Yeah.
Never mind, it wasn't that good.
Look at this guy almost fall over.
Yeah.
Oh,
Everybody was so dirty.
yeah.
Kiefer Sutherland is on a street howitzer on the roof and doesn't get a shot off. It's like 27 minutes later into this gunfight. Unbelievable.
And who would have thought Dermot Mulroney would play heartthrobby stuff?
Yeah,
later
no,
after seeing
you're
that?
right.
I know.
I'm so glad we took all that time to go back to that line that
For
wasn't
that
really good.
line,
It really
that
wasn't
amazing.
good at
You're
all.
good.
No.
But hey, I didn't know
Gosh,
either, so don't.
I thought it was good. I remembered to
It's
myself.
not bad.
I thought to myself, like, I remember that was a cool scene,
The
but
scene
never
is
mind,
cool,
it's not.
But the line's not. The line's a throwaway, but the scene's neat.
Yeah. So here's where Alex, their friend, the lawyer that deputized them, comes to tell them, like, hey, guys, now the damn army is getting involved. And guess what? You're also no longer deputies. We're taking that away, and you're now outlaws. So because you were supposed to serve the frickin' warrants, but instead you just decided to murder everybody. So you don't get to be, like, you know how this works? You don't get to be officers
You don't
anymore.
get to do this anymore.
You're now wanted. And the army is going to come out of Fort. What was it?
Fort Sumner.
Fort Sumner. So, because what happens here is after they all run away from, Charlie is freaking out about the idea of hanging, right?
Yeah.
He's, I heard you shit your pants and, like all this stuff. And they, in front of the ladies and the women are there and stuff. And
How embarrassing.
one guy's head came
Gosh.
clean off one time. He's like, I don't think he wants to hear about that. I think he wants to hear we're not going to hang. And Billy goes, look, if they catch us, we'll hang, right?
Yep.
But there's a lot. Wait, hold on. I had just missed it. I had it here. Oh, if they catch us, we'll hang. But there's plenty of slip twixt a cup and a lip.
Or many.
Yeah, many a slip between a cup. You have it right there. What is it?
Yeah, I wrote it down. There's many a slip twixt the cup and the lip. So it's an English proverb implying that even when a good outcome or conclusion seems certain, things can still go wrong. Kind of like don't count your chickens before they hatch.
Oh.
So like you think you're getting your coffee, but then, oh no.
There's
Sure. Then it's just
still
all
many
over.
of chances for a slip up between the cup.
Yeah,
and your
you
lip.
think you got it all in the bag.
I loved that without even fully understanding what it meant.
Sure.
I
It
just
Sounded
thought
cool.
It was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool turn because he's so confident in the moment.
He is.
Right? He's like, yeah, if they catch us, we'll hang. But there's many a slip twixt a cup and a lip.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
I want a Twix.
That's what you took out of that?
Yep.
That tracks.
Yep.
All right, fine.
Right to his lip.
All right, they hit some random town because Charlie
Twix to the
doesn't.
lip?
We think it's because Charlie doesn't want to die a virgin. They just go to this random town, and he hooks up with this prostitute. But he just wants to be held. Yeah, because remember he.
That one. That one. I thought you meant his bride.
No. The first one where she's like, "All right, it's the same amount of money, no matter what you're into."
Yeah.
And so he just wants to be held by her, right?
Yeah.
While the guys are off sitting in some saloon. One of our, I think it was Eric. I don't want to give the wrong. I think it's Eric. Wrote in and said that there was a deleted scene where when the guys are all ribbing him when he comes out of there because he didn't actually do anything, that she comes out and says that she's his mom. That he went there and paid money to be held by his mother.
Oh.
That's not,
That's his actual mom.
Yes, that's his actual
really
mother.
Screwed up that she said the price is the same no matter what.
That must have been a different
I don't know.
choice then for that scene.
Yeah.
Maybe she didn't know.
Not like both would go together.
Maybe
Right, one or the other.
Maybe that's why he was an
Choose
orphan.
your own adventure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will say,
Or
I like
she
the moment.
said that to get him out of it. But go ahead.
I do like the moment in the scene when he says that and she holds him, and it's almost very motherly in the scene, so we don't even need the deleted scene.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
Because it already comes off as motherly.
That's what he really just wants, his comfort.
He just wants his mom. That's
Meanwhile,
don't we all just want our mothers?
So in the bar, while this is all going on, this mulleted mustachioed D-bag is risen up this girl talking about how he's going to be the one that kills Billy the Kid.
This is the type of talk that gets the girls all hot and bothered.
yeah.
It's like, oh, yeah, I'm going to go kill somebody later.
Tell me again how you're going to do it. Yeah, right. And of course, you have the crappiest luck of all time that Billy the Kid is in earshot of this bragging.
And you have no idea what he looks like. Where he is.
Because they put the wrong picture in anyway.
Right. Oh, that's right. Because it was Charlie Sheen.
He was looking for Charlie Sheen.
That's right.
Dang it.
And so he rolls up, and Billy has a blast with this whole thing. I mean, he milks it completely. He sits up next to him. He's like, "That's the gun that's going to kill Billy the Kid? Can I touch it? I want to touch the gun that's going to kill Billy the Kid." And the guy's almost like treating him like a child.
Yeah.
Right? All right, kid, fine.
Man, you handle somebody's gun like that, you might as well be stroking his girl.
That's right. That's right.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's what he says.
While he's distracted by the girl, he's unloading the guy's pistol.
Yeah.
Okay. Hands it back to him empty. And then he goes, here's what the guy looks like. He's young. He's got, I don't remember what he says, but he also likes to whistle sad ballads.
Yes.
And if you see anybody fit in that description, you come find me. Right.
Right.
And he goes, "Hey, I see him," and points to himself in the mirror. And the guy's still not getting it. And he's just getting annoyed. And then he starts to whistle a sad ballad. And the guy pulls a gun on him. And it's just empty.
Yeah.
It's just click, click, click.
Here's my thing, too. Here's my gun. You take it from me.
Yes.
And you do whatever the hell you want to it. I know it's just a 6-shooter and it's a wheel gun. They're a little bit on the heavy side.
Sure.
But that's my gun. I make a living with it.
Yeah.
I'm going to kill Billy the Kid.
You'll know if it's light.
I know that thing is missing 6 rounds. There is no friggin' way. I can tell you that my Beretta or my my 45 will 100% feel different halfway through a clip versus empty.
100%.
It absolutely.
Well, his spider senses were off because a lady was there.
So either that's possible.
Somebody who makes a living with it versus I shoot occasionally.
Or the guy's a total fraud.
Right.
Right.
100%. Because you're right. If he was a legit professional bounty hunter, that shouldn't have flown at all.
Right.
But he ends up flying himself through a freaking wall because he gets just blown away by Billy.
Yep.
And Billy kills another person in front of Billy. Right. And even his friends like Kiefer and everybody, it's still, they have this look like, oh, this asshole.
They do. They're getting sick of him.
Getting sick of him just shooting people.
Damn it,
he's like,
Billy.
He's like, what is that, 20? Right? He's like, 5, Billy.
We'll call it 10.
We'll call it 10.
Yeah. It's kind of a weird line.
Yeah. They're getting tired of him, man.
Yeah.
Then Charlie runs in. John Kinney's here. And the 80s synth music.
Oh my gosh. There's guitar. There's keytar. There's keyboard. There's
the cosmic key from Master of the Universe was being played.
All of it.
It's all of it. If it could be made.
It's the Japanese
synthesizer.
I was going to say if there was that big old Casio synthesizer.
Yeah, it's theremin. Woo! That one. Perfect. They're playing. They do get away. It's like a chase scene for a minute, but they get away. But Billy wants to go back to Lincoln to finish off Murphy. He's like, it's not done till Murphy's dead. And this is where Kiefer finally starts. Like, he's like, it'd be 100 against 5, right? And he's like, you guys are failing to test yourselves. Every man's got to test themselves to know that they're a man. He's kind of pulling the same kind of crap he's pulling on before,
macho crap.
And I thought this line delivery from Kiefer was good. He goes, every time these fights happen, you probably hear trumpets and angels, but I shit my goddamn britches.
Yep.
Right? Like, they're tired of Billy's
Right.
insanity. Like, to you, and Billy, because it was played this way by Emilio Estevez, is just having the time of his life through this whole thing. You'd never think he was in any danger at all.
Yeah. Or if he dies, he's totally fine with it.
Totally fine with it.
Yeah.
But these other guys are just like, dude, we're crapping ourselves every time we get into one of these scrapes, and you're laughing and giggling to yourself, right?
I just keep going, who hurt you?
Right. But they're like, if you want to test yourself, the ultimate test would be we're running to Mexico. And Billy's like, well, you know what? That would be a good test because they probably blocked off every single route that you could ever, possibly use.
Possibly way. So it
to
sounds
get
like
to Mexico.
Virtually,
Excellent point.
yes.
Virtually impossible.
It's a virtually impossible task. Sounds good to me.
Cut to them very easily getting into Mexico. Because the next shot is, hey, we're in Mexico.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. It is.
So
I
not
wasn't
a
sure
super
if it was
hard
like
test.
close because people could still speak Spanish like near
Right.
the edge.
Well, they're in New Mexico, so
Yeah.
I assume it's like they're not that far away.
Right.
But still, they built it up like it was going to be really hard to do, and then the next cut of them is just trotting into Mexico, and
Yeah.
the mariachi band is playing, and it's just like, okay,
All right, we made it.
we
And
made
the
it.
woman who's
Awesome.
playing at that wedding in the band is so expressionless. I was like, wow, what is she on?
It's peyote.
Yeah, right.
That's what it. She was like, right after this, she was screaming about a
Spirit
chicken.
world. How did they get the news that the lawyer was going to be under attack? That's next, right?
Yeah, that's coming up right here. Yeah. Well, before that,
Okay.
I do
Pat
want to say
Garrett
this.
Oh,
is
that,
that-
the wedding.
I do want to say this. I'm not close enough friends with anyone to have them sit with their legs across my bathtub. Okay? And when Billy's in the bath and Kiefer's just lounging with his legs,
I got a challenge for
never
you tonight.
Clint, never. And Billy is sitting there in the bathtub, Kiefer's lounging over, and he's dictating a letter to send to the governor about how Billy is saying, I surrender. I'm going to surrender myself. I'm tired of fighting. He gets all the way to the end and he goes, P.S. I changed my mind. Kiss my ass. And they all have a big laugh about it. While this is going on, they show a single shot of Charlie putting a blanket around the shoulders of some Spanish woman out in the yard.
Yes. Yep.
And not a minute later, somebody runs in.
Dirty Steve
runs into the bathroom to go, Charlie's getting married.
Charlie's getting married.
I'm like,
This is a shotgun wedding.
that escalated quickly.
Like out of hand, fast. Like, did you touch my daughter?
They literally,
You touch my daughter, she's yours.
wow, it doesn't take much. Charlie gets married to the girl because he put a blanket on her. And
That's how it works.
This is when
The blanket was a euphemism.
This is when Pat Garrett shows up and kind of sneaks up on Billy. And Pat Garrett, who we saw briefly at the New Year's Eve party, because Billy says one day I'm going to be as big as him, right?
Yeah.
As
Yes.
Pat Garrett, because Pat
Yeah.
Garrett's a
That's
bounty hunter,
right.
I'm assuming, right?
Well,
Are you my friend?
becomes sheriff.
Becomes sheriff, but at the time wasn't yet.
At the time was a renowned tracker. And,
Tracker and bounty.
Western guy.
Western guy.
Yeah.
Pat Garrett sneaks up on Billy and he says he's there. I love this line. He goes, I'm not here to get your ass hairs up.
Yeah.
Like, that's a visual. I'm here to warn you that your friend Alex, the lawyer, is going to be killed by Murphy's men in Lincoln, tonight or tomorrow or whatever it is. Pat Garrett is only in 2 scenes. Pat Garrett is the guy that eventually kills Billy the Kid in real life.
Yes.
A couple of years after the events of what happened in Lincoln County War.
3 years.
3 years
afterward. Yeah.
So it was interesting to have this interaction with him because eventually he shoots and kills him while he's unarmed, actually. Billy the Kid was unarmed when he got shot and killed in a dark room. He had entered into a dark room. Pat Garrett was in there with somebody else. They couldn't see who it was. Billy asked in Spanish, something like, something like, who's here? Mm-hmm. Pat Garrett recognized Billy's voice without being able to really see him, shot him dead.
Wow.
Didn't have a gun on him. They didn't know he wasn't armed, but that's how Billy the Kid dies.
Yep.
Anyway, Pat Garrett in this movie, played by Patrick Wayne,
Patrick Wayne.
the son of John Wayne,
Who was John Wayne?
who played Chisholm.
That's right.
John Chisholm. Patrick Wayne, I remember as a kid being he was in tons of his dad's movies, but I was so happy to see him here. I'm like, that's cool. They got John Wayne's kid in this movie. Good guy. He warns him and he goes, "You my friend, man." And he goes to reach for his gun. Billy turns his back on him. Pat Garrett almost draws and like takes. You have that opportunity to take out Billy the Kid here, right here in front of you.
Right.
But he says, "Yes, I'm your friend." Although I'm pretty sure he was part of this setup.
He set it up, yeah.
Right? Because he went down there, and as soon as Billy and them, because they all ride to Lincoln the next day, I got to save Alex, right? And Charlie leaves his bride and everything. They ride to Lincoln, and as soon as they get into Alex's house to warn him, they surround the house.
Yeah.
So it's very clearly a setup. So they sent Pat Garrett, somebody that Billy wouldn't necessarily gun down right away, and told him to tell him to come save Alex.
I like the scene, how it's kind of framed where you see the guy that plays Pat Garrett, he kind of, as Emilio turns around.
Yeah.
He says, "You my friend?"
Right.
And he kind of, but you see Pat Garrett kind of put his hand towards his holster, and then comes back and said, "Yeah, I'm your friend."
Because there's a chance right there to take him if he wanted to.
So you're saying there's a chance.
Right.
So you're saying,
But he doesn't. And he doesn't. Billy thinks that getting this standoff, there's 50 guys surrounding the house. And they're like, "How is it out the west side? There's people. How over here? John Kinney."
John Kinney just showed up.
Every direction, okay?
Yep.
Billy thinks the standoff is fun.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the cool part.
Yeah. He thinks it's fun. They shoot up the house a little bit, and then he goes, "Billy, you in there?" And he laughs and he goes, "Yeah, I'm in here, you bastards." And they shoot up the house some more.
I love when he's like, "Hey, Pipkin, is that Charlie Crawford with you?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
"Hey, Pipkin, Charlie Crawford's not with you anymore."
Charlie Crawford's not with you anymore.
That's what I'm saying. It's a game to him.
And this is where, again, I have a small problem. He is got the ability to turn and shoot with that level of accuracy, and there's only 100 people outside.
Yeah.
Yes.
How is it that every time he turns and shoot, 1 or 2 people don't drop?
Yeah.
You would think the numbers would improve real quick
You would think so.
if he's truly that good. So, I understand they're sensationalizing, and it's a movie. Suspend your beliefs and stuff like that, which is great. I enjoyed it. I had fun.
Yes.
But I'm just sitting there as a guy rooting for them. Is like, they should get a lot more of this work done. You know,
They should be taking out a lot of them. Yeah.
I've played some Nazi zombie killing games in my life, and we're way, way outnumbered.
Well, and I'll tell you what, the house is definitely dead as much as that thing got shot.
Yep.
Okay.
Why didn't anybody just lay flat for a while? They're just like upright, like I'm here
On the walls.
They have
Hit me.
plot armor.
Just lay down.
Yeah.
And I would have started that house on fire. I'm one of the guys outside way sooner.
Oh, yeah, for
Like
sure.
right off the bat, every entrance would have been on fire.
Billy goes, "Settle in, boys," and they all kind of go upstairs and settle in for what is essentially an overnight. They're like, the nighttime comes and goes.
Sit in.
They're
Someone
sitting
fall
there.
asleep.
Yeah.
Well, in the actual story, this actually lasts for 5 days.
Right.
Yeah.
They're sieged in this house for 5 days.
This is like the Battle of Lincoln County culminates in this 5-day siege where there's a lot more regulators than in the movie, but budgetary reasons. But yeah.
But they're still, so even like in a minute here, we're going to talk about how they all get away. You're like, how are they able to get away? They're surrounded by so many people.
Yeah.
In real life, they got away.
Yeah. In
Even
real
though
life,
they were
they got
surrounded by
away.
all these people.
And it was
Once
on
again,
fire.
and the blocking doesn't make any sense.
No.
Not even a little bit.
As far as how they did it.
No. Like they just, well, we'll continue.
Yeah. So the
Could
house
have gone out the back in this movie because nobody seemed to be around back.
Yeah.
They were all just in the front looking at.
That's fine. The army rolls in, and they obviously think there's a lot of regulars. Like, they got 30, 40 guys up there. Now we get Mr. Murphy rolling in with Yen, and Yen runs off the carriage to go run into the house, and he's running out, China, just chasing after her. And then
Literally named her China.
He
Like China Phillips from Wilson Phillips.
gets into
Hold on for one more day.
Yeah. He gets in this one dude's face and goes, "Burn it!" And the way he gets so close to that man when he screamed, "Burn it!" in this guy's face.
Yeah.
It was his call to burn the thing. They light the whole thing on fire. Yen is in there. It doesn't matter. Chavez is somehow able to slip out of the house. He's going to get some horses.
Who knows where Chavez went?
Spirit Road.
Nobody knows. Dirty Steve thinks he absconded and left.
Yeah.
So he
Kicking
starts
stuff.
Kicking stuff, saying, calling him a dirty Mexican. And then Charlie starts to have a nervous breakdown, which Billy goads him into suddenly having a blast. Like, he gets Charlie to switch from crying to being like, "This is awesome."
Yeah.
Right?
Come on, Charlie, use it.
Finally start shooting.
Use
Yeah.
it. Come on, Charlie.
No, go
shoot.
back to your wife. No, Charlie.
They
Charlie.
ultimately
Cheer up, Charlie.
load Billy the Kid into a trunk.
Luckily, it opens the right way.
I know. What if it had landed on the top? It couldn't open. And it's just him trying to get out. He's like, hold on a second. Hold on a second, guys.
Can I get some help with this?
They load him into a trunk. They throw him out the second-story window, and this thing tumbles over at least 6 times.
At least.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just hits.
Yeah.
And then the trunk opens, and he vomits in. That's what should have happened.
Yep.
Okay. The trunk opens, and Billy, or he just passed out or unconscious. It just never opens.
Like when they were out on their peyote trip, he barfed and was like, "This is great.
Yeah.
This is great." So same.
Exactly. Instead, it pops open, and here comes Billy with both of his pistols, starts firing away, smoking dudes left and right. Chavez comes in with the horses.
2 horses somehow.
That's-
Somehow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter. Charlie and Dirty Steve come out the front door. Bang, bang, bang. So Charlie gets killed as he's killing John Kinney, right?
Yep.
Dirty Steve gets shot and killed. You guys should be thrilled about that.
I wasn't.
And then Billy gets tagged a couple times.
yeah, 3.
Right? And is able to ride away.
There's at least 3 squibs that go off on him.
And they're all able to get away. And you think it's over. You think, oh, the regulators got away. But Billy has circled back around and calls Murphy's name and says, "Reap it." Right? Isn't that what he says?
Yeah,
He says,
reap
"Reap
it."
it." And shoots him right between the eyes. And Jack Palance again with a death scene, just like Charlie Sheen. Just like this insanely long time to fall down. Okay? Like
he
when you get
does
shot in
one
the
arm.
head, it's like,
He's doing his push-ups on one
yes.
arm.
And that's the end of the movie.
Sure, because then we get that quick little
that
narration, the quick narration by Kiefer.
Right. He went to live in New York with like 15 of Yen's family.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. And
And then after Billy the Kid dies,
right.
he gets buried next to Charlie, and
That's right.
someone sneaks into the grave and writes "pals."
Writes pals on it. That's right. Yeah.
Which probably took him a while.
And if it seems like a rush to the end that we just did, it's kind of how the movie
Yeah.
is all of a sudden it's over.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. And that's it. And Murphy didn't get killed by Billy the Kid. He actually died of cancer.
Yeah.
But they felt like they needed more of a resolution in the movie. And so they just had him shoot him in the face.
Oh.
Why not?
But that did not happen.
So he didn't
in
reap
real
it.
life. No.
No. No.
The other people that Billy killed in this movie, he killed in real life, but not Murphy. Murphy died of cancer.
Yeah.
So it would be nice, more of a storybook way, that have the villain get the comeuppance from the hero.
It's always a thing. I mean, it was a very condensed, fictionalized version of it, and
Exactly.
of course, drenched in the motif of the 80s.
Yes, motif was just dripping off of
Oh
this.
my goodness.
Yeah, just soaking in it. Taking a bath.
Taking a
in the motif. It was dirty.
A bath in the 80s.
Now it's clean because it was washed with motif
In the hot springs.
in the hot springs of Young Guns.
We have to sell BMR motif. It's our new fragrance.
Motif. All right, guys. Look, there are any number of ways this movie, as good as it was, could be made better, right?
Sure.
It could have maybe been improved via some recasting that could have happened, right? I mean, I'm thinking there's a lot of different people we could have recast, but I don't just dawned on me though. What if Arnold Schwarzenegger was in this movie?
I just want to hold you.
Listen, it's the same price no matter what you want, okay? If you just want to snuggle, then I will snuggle with you. If you want to eat a plate of schnitzel with me, we can do that, and that costs the same, okay? If you want to use my muscular buttocks as a pillow and you can sleep here and have a nap, that's the same amount of money, okay?
You sold me.
Perfect.
Arnold as the prostitute. I'm all in on this one.
Listen, I'm his mother, okay?
With the full wig and everything?
Yes.
Yes. It would have been better than Around the World in 80 Days. Wasn't that one?
Oh, no. We just talked about that recently, too. Have you seen that movie?
Yeah.
We talked about it in the mailbag, yeah.
Yeah.
I've
Arnold-
never seen it. Was it any good?
No, it's awful.
No, don't say that.
I mean, it's awful.
Okay. Sorry, Nicole. I'm not trying to throw all this at you.
You're going to love it.
All right. So Estevan Alonso playing along with us today.
Ooh.
And he goes, picture Arnold as Murphy facing off against Terrence Stamp, right? Mm-hmm. This is the head you pegged is the kind that likes to educate young boys. Okay. You've got the beef cows that go moo. I've got the beef cows, okay? And you want to make your money, and I'm going to make some money, but if you don't stop, I will kill you. Stop it!
My cows moo, just like your cows moo. Same amount of mooing.
Or better yet, cast him as Dirty Steve.
Nope.
Spouting every racist line in that unmistakable this dirty Mexican. Make that switch, throw in the peyote scene, and I've got, did you see the size of that chicken? The chicken was huge. It was so big. I think that's a good call for Esteban, personally.
There you go.
Know. Where do you want to see? If you said no to everything so far, where do you want to put Arnold in this movie, Clint?
I put Arnold there already. He'd be our pugilist. He'd be Charlie.
Oh, he'd be Charlie. Yeah. Oh, I didn't hear you say that part. Okay.
That's what I said.
Nice. That's a good, I think that's a good spot for him.
I just want to snuggle.
I just want to snuggle.
I just want to hold you.
Eric Valov playing along, and he goes, a cameo as the handsome stranger at the dance.
Jesus.
Look at you at the New Year's Eve party.
My God, yes.
Listen to me. I'm going to dance with you right now. Come on. Just like when he's trying to get the lady to cross the street, right? And he's just like, we're dancing. What are you going to do? You have to dance. You can't say no.
Right.
Right? And when Murphy walks over to be like, I'm sorry, but I just found out. You go, that would be it.
No, he would have hit a horse.
That's right.
Yeah.
There's so many opportunities in here.
So many.
He'd have punched the pig. He wouldn't have shot him. He'd have punched him out.
He could have punched all of them.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Also, Dave Parkinson wants him to see him as Murphy. Also, talking with that cadence. I don't know if Arnold could do the Jack Palance cadence. Listen, you, I'm my number one guy. You can't do it. It doesn't work. It's not good. Ryan Doherty playing with us for the first time ever.
What's
Ryan,
up?
I think Esteban too. We got two first timers this time.
Hey, Esteban. Good
He
job.
wants to make this movie better by Arnold playing Yen Su, the Austrian transplant who goes to the rancher as payment for a ruined shirt.
And now I am damaged woman. No one wants me.
That's right.
Could you imagine Arnold as your in-house entertainment?
Don't eat me.
I've heard.
I kept you flowers in my mind and in my heart. All right.
I don't pay enough for the show. I feel like I should pay more.
But if he was Billy, then he could say something that would be more Arnold, like "Buenos dias, shitheads," right?
Oh, yeah.
Would be a more Arnold line.
That would have been an Arnold.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I think it's clearly that look, or how about this? If he was Billy, listen, I know that if we get caught, we'll hang, but there's many a slip twixt a cup and a lip.
Yes. You nailed it.
It was beautiful.
It was awesome.
All right, guys. It's time to get some awards out. We're going to start with the most prestigious award we give out. It's the Will Patton Award for Intensity.
You want a war? I'll give you a war!
I don't want them to gain another yard.
You blitz all night! If they cross the line of scrimmage, I'm gonna take every last one of you out. You make sure
They remember forever the night they played the Titans. What are you doing with a gun in space?
That's right. All right, guys. So who is the actor that was fully dialed in, that maybe they not the one that necessarily screamed the loudest or was the angriest, but played their part with the most intensity, which sometimes means that, who was dialed in, bought in 100% of the role they were playing and brought that intensity? Ryan, we're going to start with you.
Dermot Mulrooney.
Dirty Steve. He was committed.
Dirty Steve was one of the dirtiest people I've ever seen on cinema.
Bro, I couldn't look at his teeth.
Oh, no, it was disgusting.
It was awful.
I think he loved every moment of it. He's like, I'm acting.
Yes.
Look at the acting.
And like you even said, like Dermot Mulrooney eventually became like kind of a heartthrob type actor. So to see him do this disgusting, completely 180 role.
Yeah, I was sitting there watching it with Dana, and I said, that's Dermot Mulrooney. And I told her a couple of things that I knew she knew him from. And she's like, what? I showed her a picture, and she leaned in and was like, oh, my God, it is him. Like, she didn't even realize.
Yeah. It's like the dude from My Best Friend's Wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
okay. You're going with him.
I think I'm going to go with Dermot Mulrooney. I don't know.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it's tough.
It is. But Estevan Alonso went with no contest, going to be Emilio Estevez as the Chivato. From his laugh to the Hey Pippin scene, he nailed it. So that's a vote for Emilio Estevez. What's the Hey Pippin scene?
He said it. I don't know why.
Did he say it?
Yeah.
Oh, I remember him saying it. That's right.
In a bar, I feel like.
Yes.
Okay.
No, it's a Hey Pippin. It's when he's like, hey Pippin.
Oh, that's right.
Charlie Crawford with you.
That's right. That's right. Okay, I couldn't remember the reference.
So he wasn't referencing the musical Pippin?
No.
Okay, great.
No, I was thinking of Jaws. Pippin! You know, when the dog. It's like, anyway. All right, so let's vote for Emilio Estevez and Nicole.
I considered one person, then I have changed to the other. And my runner-up was Lou Diamond Phillips.
LDP!
For the monologue, the intensity of it. But for the rest of the movie, I kind of sometimes was like, oh, he's in the film, but he's just hanging out. But maybe because that was what he was trying to do, because that's what he would do. Yeah, Chavez, what would he do? But there wasn't intensity in the nothingness there. So therefore, Emilio Estevez is getting it for me.
Emilio Estevez with a second vote.
Yeah.
As we go to Mr. Valov himself, and he says, look, Charlie Sheen. He played every scene as serious as a heart attack, which he did.
That's true, too.
I don't think he made one joke his entire time on screen. Honorable mention, Jack Palance. So, like Arnold, Jack Palance is always the same in every movie he's in, and you don't notice is out of place. Plays an Irish immigrant with little to no Irish accent, but if he sounded any different than what you've come to expect him, you would be you're right. You'd be disappointed if Jack Palance was like doing a weird voice or something, right? So runner-up Jack, but he does give the vote to Charlie Sheen.
So Charlie Sheen is winning this one.
Is he? Well, you've got two.
That's what he said. He's winning.
Winning.
Never mind.
Not yet.
No.
I'm trying to think if he's ever, because this is our third Charlie Sheen movie. I don't know if he's ever won the Will Patton Award.
Okay.
But he's not going to win this time, I don't think, because I'm actually I was all in on Emilio Estevez, and he seemed super committed to this part. And while you're like, okay, intensity, but he was laughing and joking, he was crazy in this. And there's a crazy intensity, I think, for sure. And so I'm going Emilio on this one as well. And as far as Dave Parkinson goes, he gave his Will Patton to Emilio Estevez as Billy the Kid. So that's 4 votes in as we go over to Clint.
My vote is absolutely useless and unnecessary, and also for Billy the Kid.
Oh, there you go.
Wow.
Yeah, he played the dude like totally nuts, totally crazy.
Because you can overdo crazy.
Absolutely.
He didn't like over bananify it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think he did a good job.
And there's
From
very little
the initial, you see him just kind of running off, and then his draw on I can't think it.
Doc?
Starts with the T. Well, they whirl up in the coach and in the wagon and pick him up.
Oh,
right
yeah.
at the beginning.
Yeah,
But,
Tunstall.
right there, Tunstall. That's what I was saying. He's sitting there, and he's a little on the timid side, and then he goes in there, and they're hacking on him a little bit and stuff like that. The whole time, he's sitting there more brooding than like being beaten down.
That's true. And Ryan here is going to make enough of a vote, Ryan Doherty, to have Dirty Steve be a runner-up here, because it's a second vote for Dirty Steve. From a kid, he always stood out to me as a character. Dermot Mulroney is great in every scene, stuffing his mouth full of tobacco, fighting with Chavez, and the most iconic scene when he's on peyote, when he's on camera, he owns it. So that's a second vote for him. But ultimately, Emilio Estevez is going to win the Will Patton Award. What a comeback on this show for Emilio Estevez after getting absolutely destroyed for 2 other episodes. So kudos to him.
Good for him.
Good for Emilio. All right. So the next award we give out is to, and this is a clarification that I need to make, because some of the guys in the Discord brought this up, and I think it's fair. It's just a reminder that the Steven Seagal Trash Can Full of Dirt Award is for who you thought was the worst acting performance in the movie, not the character you hated the most. Okay,
It's not gonna stop.
Okay, and so sometimes I think we fall into that, but it's for who you thought the worst actor in the film was. So Ryan, you got the floor to start us off here, but first, it's not going to start until we play the jingle. What the hell am I thinking?
You know it.
Trash can, oh trash can, it's a trash can full of dirt, yeah.
Love never dies, and neither do they. Love is eternal, and that's a long time.
All right. Sorry, I can't believe I almost forgot. Ryan,
That's
you're
okay.
up.
I'm going with Jeffrey Blake for McCluskey.
McCloskey.
Or McCloskey, whatever his name
he
is.
couldn't convincingly act that he was on their side.
It's not even that. It's like, I get it that we're supposed to know that he's a double agent kind of a thing.
Yeah.
But even it's like, all right, so it's almost like his direction from the director was, all right, so just, we're going to have these couple scenes with you. Just act like you're a double agent.
Yeah.
And he was just like, oh, so, I used to work with Murphy, but I called him Fat Sal, and now I'm here.
They should have used that, like, prairie dog who looks at the camera.
Yeah. And, like, even the scene, the scene that he's trying to convince them.
Yeah.
He's like, well, hold on. And he, like, puts his arm out.
Right.
Well, hold on. What if we go west and the ambush is there? I think we should go straight through Lincoln County.
That's right. Oh, of course.
And I'm just like, dude.
Yeah.
Because like you said, it's like, all right, well, we all obviously know you're a double agent.
Besides that.
But besides that, you suck at acting like a double agent.
Fair enough. That's a vote for McCloskey. Ryan Doherty says, I went back and forth on this. Nobody performed poorly in the film from what I saw. My original pick was Pat Garrett, which would have been Patrick Wayne. But on rewatch, he at least moves the plot forward at one point. That's a great compliment for an actor. Ryan, I ultimately chose Charlie. The character is weak when he wants to be tough. When challenged, he folds up like an old wallet. He had a great scene when he stood up to the guy at the New Year's Eve party, and that's it until he, oh my God, kills Kenny at the end. John Cannon, I like that. He did good, but poorly written character, and so his vote is for Charlie. But it seemed more about the character than the actual acting.
Right.
Because it's for the character. I really liked scenes he was in.
Yeah.
I was like, yay. Because for me, it was like a lot of like macho, gun, shoot, bang, bang. And so it was like something interesting for me to see. I was like, great.
That's a good jam.
Okay,
Macho, gun, bang, macho.
And then Casey Simasco.
Right?
All right. So who's your vote for, Nicole?
My favorite thing to do is actually, per the most recent thing that we heard, no one really was like out there for being terrible.
Yeah.
I was not impressed with the actor that you mentioned, but I also, I am torn. I want to pick Alice Carter, who played Yensun.
Yeah.
Because I didn't like how she did it, but was she told, like, be this enigmatic person who doesn't speak much English and be shy? And I can't decide how much she was told.
Yeah.
But I didn't like how it turned out.
Okay. So is that a vote for Alice Carter?
Yes, but I bet she's really nice.
She's probably super nice. It's not personal.
No.
It's okay,
we know.
Nicole.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Here we go. Estevan Alonso went with Alice Carter, a.k.a. Yensun. Her character felt entirely unnecessary, like someone shoehorned in a love story where it didn't belong. And Charlie Sheen was equally useless with his bizarre accent and unconvincing straight man role. But yelling, China, China, that's why Jack Palance gets his trash can vote. Oh, he gives a little oop-de-oop there at the end.
A hoop loop.
Yeah, the hoop loop.
He gave us a hoop loop ring.
He could have been a great heavy, but instead he was a caricature wasted in this role. And seriously, why is he always whispering his lines? Oh, Estevan does not like the Jack Palance vibe.
I didn't like the Jack Palance vibe either in this movie.
I did go Alice Carter as Yensun for mine. I just was like, you got to give me something. And whether or not you're direct. And even in a movie like this where it's like, yeah, pretty good across the board. It's just about who was the worst, even if no one was bad. And I just thought there's just a whole lot of nothing.
There's a whole lot of subpar.
Yeah.
In this movie.
Yeah.
Because no one is bad. No one gives a bad performance in the movie.
No.
But no one comes out of their skin either.
Yeah. I got you.
That's my thought on it.
Yeah, no, that's fair. So what are we at? I think she's the only one with 2 votes currently right now, right? So Eric Valov says, look, I don't know if it was choices by the actors or instructions from the director, but this was a disaster from start to finish. So my pick is Hulk Hogan and Santa with muscles. Joe would be so happy if he was here. He goes, my real pick is Thomas Calloway as Texas Joe Grant, the bounty hunter in the bar.
Really?
The mustachioed, mulleted D-bag. That's not a bad vote. Unless it was exactly how he was supposed to play it. But he does give Alice Carter his Sherilyn Fenn Hot Babe Award created by Bob Hauser. And I just didn't slot that. Options? I didn't slot this one in because there was like one, maybe Alex's wife, right, is the only other real woman of merit in the movie,
or his mom.
Yeah, But what we can do, I think it would be
Charlie's mom.
Oh, Charlie's mom.
Yeah.
We could legitimately do, after we get through with this, the Rain Award, because that's the one we give out to the hottest guy in the movie. So we'll do that in a second.
Yes.
So, but it's another vote, or I should say, as we go to Clint.
It's going to be China Girl.
Yeah, Yen Soon.
Gotta be.
Alice Carter.
Not only did I don't think she did a lot. Maybe she was told to not to or whatever. But to reiterate, I don't think she was necessary at all. If she wasn't there, the movie changes. None.
Not at all. No. I think she's there because it's like Doc really did abscond with this woman and her huge family and moved to New York. And so she was there in real life. And that's probably why they put her in. But they could have done a better job with it personally.
Well, they could have done a better job with a lot.
Yeah. And to wrap this category up, Dave, don't call him Paul Parkinson, says Dermot Mulrooney as Steve Stevens did nothing. He hated Dermot. But with 3 votes, Alice Carter is going to win the coveted Trash Can Full of Dirt award. Sorry. All right, but let's drop some rain here. Who do you guys think was the most attractive man in the movie?
Kiefer Sutherland, without a doubt.
You're so sure.
Oh, Kiefer. Young Kiefer with that flowing blonde hair.
He writes poetry.
Just wonderfully,
he has flowers.
wonderfully chiseled face.
Yeah.
Just the perfect amount of scruff.
Wow.
I will say he was a little not toned in this movie, though. The one scene with his shirt off, he did look a little thin.
That's true.
Because you were allowed back then to be like a normal human, but in TV shows today you can't.
No, you
exactly.
Can't. The only person was Eric Valov, who wrote in for this one because it's not a usual award, but he did say Lou Diamond Phillips for his.
I mean, I go Lou Diamond.
LDP.
I would Chavez in this movie too.
I mean, what if Dermot Mulroney got a bath?
Well, but it's his character in the movie that we're talking about.
Look,
right?
he would have to get a bath
and new teeth,
see a dentist, and
is that the actor you like the best out of all of them?
No, I don't know. I'm just trying to pick. I'm looking at the list of names.
What about Charlie?
I'm going.
I'll go with Charlie.
Charlie,
just
the character, or Charlie Sheen, the actor?
Oh no, I mean that.
Oh, Charlie, the actor. Okay.
No, yeah. Casey Semezgo.
Casey Semezgo.
All right, you're going
Casey Semezgo.
Yeah, we can hang out.
Look, Charlie Sheen, man. This is the 80s. We're talking peak Charlie Sheen. I'm going Charlie Sheen.
He was dapper.
Okay. This is 2 years after Ferris Bueller when Jeannie fell all over herself in the police station.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Come on.
I was saying the same thing. It's got to be Charlie Sheen, but I am going to say one other thing. Every single one of these dudes is way better looking than me, except for the guy that he shoots in the bathroom. That guy was a troll.
The guy that plays Henry Hill.
Look at that. Charlie with the last second win. The Rain Award. Charlie Sheen. Woo! Let's go. Woo! All right. The next award we give out to someone who had a small role in the movie, but really gave it their all in their small part. We call it the Unsung Hero Award, named after none other than Mr. Steve James.
You're doing great.
You know, every place you go, there's always someone who thinks he's a badass, right? Yeah, right. Then there are those few who are. Are you some kind of a badass karate boy?
All right. So, Ryan, who is your unsung hero nominee?
Big toss up here. Lou Diamond Phillips has that amazing scene where he really comes out of his body.
Yeah.
But like you said, the rest of the movie, he really doesn't have anything to do. So there's that. But dude that plays Buckshot Roberts.
Yep, that's where I was going.
Brian Keith, who has literally 5 lines this entire movie.
Yes.
And this was even, so like I saw this movie 20-some years ago.
Yeah.
And when I was thinking to myself, like, I haven't seen it in a long time, but the one scene that I remember is him jumping off the mule and saying, all right, let's dance.
Let's dance.
Like, just the nonchalantness, killing it.
Love it.
And then this horribly blocked gunfight. But once again,
Dave Parkinson went with Charlie Sheen as Dick Brewer. I mean, he did die like a quarter of the way into the movie, almost maybe a third of the way in the movie. It was before halfway. I remember that. He did a fantastic job. Wish he was in it longer. If he is too main, then Terrence Stamp was another fine. I think I'll give you Charlie Sheen. He got killed off pretty early.
He did.
That's a vote for Charlie and a vote for, what was his name?
Brian Keith.
Brian Keith. Thank you. Nicole?
Brian Keith.
Brian
I was going to say outhouse shootout guy, but that's
Perfect.
him.
Perfect. Brian Keith. Ryan Doherty said he's going to Jose Chavez E. Chavez. He got that great speech to the rest of the regulators about the revenge he wanted, his badass knife skills, and saving the day at the end when he escapes and comes stampeding in with the horses. We're spreading all fields right now. I don't think anybody's got a second vote yet, and I'm going Patrick Wayne as Pat Garrett.
Yeah.
Was there 2 second votes already?
Yeah, we did it.
2 double up.
Oh, who doubled up?
We did outhouse shootout.
Oh, that's right. You guys. I'm sorry.
We got Brian Keith.
So Brian Keith got 2 votes.
LDP.
That's right. LDP. And then now Patrick Wayne as Pat Garrett.
Wayne.
I really liked the 2 scenes that he was in. I mean, it was so brief in the New Year's party, but
yeah.
But the scene at the end, I just like seeing him. I thought he did a good job. And then Mr. Estevan says for his, we're scraping the barrel here, but we got to give it to LDP. It was a close call between him and Casey, but that speech about how his family died and him being the last of his people pushed him to the front. Also, any guy who brings a knife to a gunfight earns hero status in our book. So we got 2 votes left to go. One more patron and Clint, but we got a tie right now, 2 ways between Brian Keith and LDP.
Well, I was going to go Brian Keith because even though I don't believe that that's how that fight would have played out, like
not at all,
he had to have come in a little stronger or a little sneakier than what they played out right here, one or the other. But I enjoyed it.
All right, fair enough.
He has 30 seconds to live up to the mythological guy who's killed more people than smallpox.
Right.
And he does it in 30 seconds.
He looked like he was aging. I was like, maybe he's just losing his touch a little.
And how about this? Eric Valoff came in with his Steve James and gave his to Patrick Wayne as Pat Garrett.
What?
So we ended up with 2 people with 2 votes and 1 with 3. That was closely contested.
Yeah,
nice.
Steve
Very good.
James Award. He goes, with Patrick joining the cast, it connects the movie to another movie about the Lincoln County War starring Patrick's father, who sings Chisholm.
Oh my gosh.
John Chisholm. Weary, saddle-worn Chisholm.
We could have counted those and came up with the same damn number.
So, but ultimately that means that Brian Keith is going to win the Steve James Unsung Hero Award. So congratulations to him in his one scene that he was in.
That's what it's all about.
But kudos to Patrick Wayne as well and Lou Diamond Phillips.
Definitely kudos to both of them. Sure. I like that Patrick Wayne. He has a lot to play up to.
Yeah.
To do 2 scenes as Pat Garrett to basically set the tone for, history.
I was disappointed to find out they recast Pat Garrett for Young Guns 2.
Yeah, William Peterson plays Pat Garrett in Young Guns 2.
It was only 2 years later. Why can't you just have Patrick Wayne come and do it?
They wanted a star power.
That's ridiculous. Because he's got a bigger part in that movie.
Yes,
because he's
huge.
the guy that's hunting them down.
Exactly.
And stuff like that.
Exactly.
That was lame, I thought. Because they should have let him do it. Anyway, so congratulations, man. And now it's time for us to climb the mountain. BMR Mountain, as we have some cast members here who have appeared in at least 3 BMR movies. And so if you've seen any of the movies, feel free to chime in or make your own ranking. But we're going to try and figure out what was the peak performance for these actors out of the movies they've so far appeared at on our show. And so we're going to start with Charlie Sheen, who previously appeared in The Wraith and The Rookie with Clint Eastwood, and now in Young Guns. This is his 3rd appearance. And so out of those movies, what do you think has been the peak performance for Charlie Sheen?
I go with The Rookie.
Yeah.
I think so. I love The Rookie.
I also would go with The Rookie.
Just The Rookie.
It's got to be Rookie, this, and The Wraith, and that's not saying anything against The Wraith because I
know you
them.
love The
No,
Wraith.
but his performance in The Wraith isn't great.
Well, you could definitely tell he was there for a day. They took every shot they did and used it.
Right.
I don't think there was many retakes.
And I think they did like every line reading once.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And he was literally in there doing a favor for them. But yeah, I would go same thing. Rookie. Young Guns wasn't a bad performance,
No,
but
yeah,
it was
I think
like
he did well.
He did fine.
Yeah.
Right?
It's once again one of them things.
Yeah.
Like, Charlie Sheen. I love Charlie Sheen.
Yeah.
Say what you will.
But Young Guns isn't the peak of him on this show.
No.
So far, it's been The Rookie. It doesn't replace that. No. So we'll see if the next Charlie Sheen movie can come in and knock off The Rookie as his best performance.
I wonder what the next Charlie Sheen movie will be.
We'll see. It was the one where he's got the mullet and the beard and he's a motorcycle cop
Hot
or whatever.
Shots?
I can't remember what it's called. No. It'd be Navy SEALs when we do Navy SEAls.
Dude, Navy
Right?
SEAls. Yes.
It'd be like Major League 40.
Major League 3 or whatever. I don't know what perfect. The other actor we got to talk about is Emilio. So Emilio has been in Maximum Overdrive, Free Jack, and now Young Guns. And
Jesus.
I personally think that Young Guns is his peak performance. It's not a surprise, as we've already talked about. I'm going to say, though, that his worst performance was Maximum Overdrive.
Yeah, that was something for him. I don't know.
Only 2 years before this movie.
What was bad about it?
What was bad about it? I can't remember. He sucked. Every line he said sounded stupid, and I didn't believe a word he said.
Okay,
he really didn't.
Cool.
It's like, it was once again like him trying to show that he was an actor.
Right.
Yeah.
Because he was more or less part of the Brat-Pack.
But oh
But
man.
also the family he's coming from.
Sure, you would think so.
But oh man, you should have seen him pumping some gas.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, when
Some
he...
tane.
And this is important to remember. These aren't the movie rankings, because I wouldn't rank that order for the movies.
No.
I like Maximum Overdrive better than Free Jack.
Yeah.
But I'm putting that one at the bottom. And actually, Eric Valov is the only one that threw in his ranking, and he also went Young Guns, Free Jack, Maximum Overdrive for his. Have you seen any of those movies? Maximum Overdrive is about trucks that come alive and want to kill people, like
Really?
semi-trucks.
Yeah.
Wow.
And really any
But
mechanical.
any mechanical
Bad
object.
Transformers.
Yeah.
It's
and then
basically, think of if Stephen King did a bunch of coke and then wrote a movie about...
That's not
Decepticons.
think about. That's real. That's the actuality.
That's
of
what
it.
happened.
the actuality of it.
and Free Jack, I'm not even going to try to explain to you
Great.
what Free Jack is. That plot is hard to unravel.
Yeah, I love
Mick Jagger's in it.
I
and
love
Anthony Hopkins.
What? What again?
Yeah.
I love Free Jack.
Double what? Wow.
And the guy from the Buster Poindexter's in it too.
That's too much. Cannot compete.
All right, guys, I think we've got a consensus on these rankings, and so it's time to render our final verdict. We have to come, well, not unanimously, but individually, marrying the objective and the subjective. Is this movie... Were the critics right? They stood on an island themselves and said this movie's bad, or the audience is like, this is beloved. Where do you guys land? And so, Ryan, we'll start with you. You have the floor, sir.
Well, cinematically, this is a bad movie. It's, as we questioned a couple times, what was the direction? That is also, if I could have given the trash can full of dirt to just anybody, I would have given it to Christopher Kane as the director. Because this guy did not know how to shoot this movie. He did not know how to handle this material. He did not know how to put it together in the editing room. Like you said, there's so many scenes that have like these awkward little like half-second blurbs, but you can see them as an audience person. Like even the first thing when Kiefer Sutherland and Terrence Stamp are starting the conversation, literally the first conversation in the movie, it's almost like you can see where he said action, 1, 2, then they started acting.
Right.
It's like they left the 1, 2 in there.
Right.
So this movie, and there could have been such a better movie about the actual Lincoln County War.
Sure.
But for what it is, it's an 80s movie with Emilio Estevez, Charlie Sheen, Lou Diamond Phillips. This movie rules.
There you go.
I go, bad movie that rules.
All right. Awesome. Fair enough, man. And Dave Parkinson, all the way from Australia, says, good movie. Straight up. Great action, great cast, enjoyable story. 2 thumbs up from Parco out on the other side of the world. So, Nicole, you have the floor.
So I don't think it's a good movie overall, just straight out there. Sometimes I think to give it the that rules portion, the little asterisk there, is for 2 reasons a lot with us. 1, if it's nostalgic, right? People like go back in time. Or 2, if it's just so bad, it's fun, right? We talked about that.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have the nostalgia for this film because I don't remember it because I only saw little tiny bits.
Yeah.
And I didn't laugh super hard because of the things that were wrongly done, super like over the top in that way. So from me, I think it's a bad movie.
Okay. And that's fine.
Full stop.
Period.
Bad movie, period.
Okay. So you didn't enjoy it at all?
Just when Charlie was on peyote for a minute. That was kind of it. Because I kept being like, everybody probably thought Kiefer was going to look so heartthrobby, but it's making me feel bad for him.
I got you. Ryan Doherty steps in and goes, good movie. While it's not historically accurate, Emilio looks like he really enjoys playing the character and makes the movie fun to watch. One part that really confused me is when Murphy's men are making fun of Tunstall for his posse, saying he likes the company of young boys. In real life, he was their age. Tunstall was much younger himself.
Yeah.
He was a little older than them, but he wasn't like an old man. Billy was the youngest of them at about 16 or 17, but a lot of them were in their mid-20s, as well as Tunstall himself. He hired them for protection and not necessarily to teach them. I know a lot of this may get cut, but I had to voice my final final opinion and hold ups on the movie. So good movie. Final vote from Ryan Doherty.
Thanks, Ryan.
Yep. Tunstall was only 24 years old in real life.
Yeah, it's crazy.
4 score and no, 1 score. Never mind.
Esteban says, I watched this with 2 of my pals and we couldn't help but laugh as the made-for-TV soundtrack was just awful. With that said, we say this is a bad movie that rules. We would never watch this alone, but would sure watch it again together. So another vote for a bad movie that rules. We got 2 good movies, 2 bad movies that rule, and 1 straight-up bad movie as we go over to Clint Bush.
This movie is bad for reasons we've discussed. The director, I think, failed it. I wasn't there. Maybe he owed money to somebody, and they said, you tanked this movie. We're shaving points. I don't know. But regardless, the movie has its shortcomings. It rules. I like it. I'll watch it again. I enjoy it. Not because it's so bad it makes us chuckle or whatever. There's just something else about it. Just enough action and ridiculous gunplay. I like that stuff.
Yeah.
That's a thing.
Whatever.
Yeah.
It's enjoyable.
Sheen.
To be honest, the gunplay in it, I mean, it's still on par with a movie like Tombstone in the sense of...
The gunplay.
The gunplay. In the sense of, like, you look at... Right. You look at the scene in Tombstone, like when they do the OK Corral in Tombstone. And once again, they're all standing 5 feet from each other.
Where they were in real life,
Right, but you get, like, this cutaway to Val Kilmer, who's just like... Like literally shooting 10 bullets out of a 6-shooter.
Yeah.
And it's like,
yeah.
All right.
And it's awesome.
And it's awesome. And it's like, you know what? In Young Guns, it's also awesome.
Yeah. There you go. I have no problem with that stuff.
No.
My only thing is, could you imagine if this was written with done again with competent directing and we got something this story accurate, more accurate and more on key with a Tombstone.
Yeah.
And they're probably going to be super mad at me because I didn't mention this when we were talking about it because we're kind of rushing through the end. But one of those guys who got killed at the end was Tom Cruise. He cameoed in the Murphy standoff at the end there.
What?
Yeah. You didn't know this?
No.
Yeah. So you can find the picture online. It's one of these guys that gets killed. He was on set for the day, wanted to always be in a Western, never was in a Western, so they put him in a getup, and they had him get killed while they were coming out of the building.
That's crazy.
So Tom Cruise is in this movie, mustachioed and not looking like himself. And
doing his own stunt.
Doing his own stunt.
Doing his own stunts. This was the start of it.
This is the start of him doing his own stunts. Like, have him shoot me for real. I'll wear a bulletproof vest.
I remember that time. Yeah.
No, but he gets killed, and I've tried to spot him. I can't. I think there's a picture, like I said, online where you can go and see. It doesn't. It's really hard to tell, but it is in fact Tom Cruise.
I'm gonna have to check that out when I get home.
Yeah, I can't believe I forgot to mention it when we were going through the actual part.
That's a fun bit of trivia, though.
I got it in before the end of the episode.
Did it?
And that's all that matters.
Yay!
And here's Eric Valov's final thoughts. He goes, "As a kid, I liked this movie and thought it has been probably 12, 13 years since the last time I've seen it. I still enjoy it. It's been said on the show more than once, when you see a movie that impacts how you feel about it, I think that's true, Eric. And you see it at a certain age for sure. That being said, the 45-year-old who went to school to be a history teacher and advocate of removing the notion of popular history, historical fiction, being told and believed as fact, i.e. Columbus discovered America, an apple falling on Isaac Newton, Washington cutting the cherry tree, or Bob Hauser being with a woman, I find this movie so damn irritating. The inaccuracies of events and individuals. John Tunstall was 24. There were 11 regulators, not 6. The regulators actually raised a group of 30 to hold off the siege at McSween's house.
Yeah.
The film acknowledges with a line to Murphy, the regulators literally escaped out the back door of McSween's home. Murphy was never at the siege. Also, Doc was already married and never took a Chinese wife. Dirty Steve and Charlie survived the siege. Despite all of that, this is still a bad movie that rules. I'll watch it again alone or with friends. P.S. Bob, your brains could rotate inside a peanut shell for 1,000 years and never touch the sides. Oh. All right.
Wow.
There you go. All right. I'll be brief because we've kind of hit all bases here on this, but my thoughts on the movie are this. It's hard watching Young Guns after having just done Tombstone on Patreon for Good Movies Rule, because and that's just timing, right? You're like, oh, I just saw the best Western in my life, and then I just watched Young Guns. I think there are moments in Young Guns, individual moments that rise to almost that level that are really, really enjoyable and well acted, but then every once in a while, it's just out of nowhere. It's so 80s. And whether it's the music or the posing after they swear in or the Richard Marx opening or whatever, you know what I mean? It just comes right out of it. the goofy deaths, that kind of stuff. It's like, man, if they just could have held sway on some of that stuff and not given into, you know, what it now feels very dated. There are lots of Westerns that are timeless because they don't have that stuff in them that's really specific to the time they were made in, right? It could have been, I think, a really, really great all-time classic movie. So I think that there's enough wrong with it objectively. Blame the director, blame whoever, that it's a bad movie. But I really enjoyed this movie. I had a blast watching it, which it doesn't usually happen when I watch a lot of these. I enjoyed it. I'm sad I didn't see it all those years ago. So I'm going to call this a bad movie that rules, capital R. I thought it was great.
With no nostalgia factor.
With no nostalgia factor.
No.
And I still enjoyed it. And so...
It was because of the Warren G song.
That's exactly what it was. That's the only nostalgia I had. So in the first 5 minutes, I was like, hey!
This is my film.
But I enjoyed the movie.
It was because of the light bulb moment.
I want to see Young Guns too.
I was just going to say, I can't wait till we do Young Guns 2 because
I want to see that one.
It's a little better.
The only reason I didn't go and watch it right now is because I know we're going to have to watch it again. And what sucks bad.
Yes. So you're all roped into Young Guns 2 whenever that happens, okay?
I'm all about Young Guns 2.
I want to appreciate you guys. Well, let's take a second here and we'll talk about what's going to happen next week. It means we got to wake up the one and only DH9K.
Hey, girl.
All right, DH9K, are you awake?
Hello, my name is DH9K and I am ready for query.
Hey, how's it going? I hope you're in a good mood today. Everything's okay and we're all cool here. Everybody's super excited to hear from you. Would you mind telling us what's on the docket for next week?
Next week, thanks to Jack Dean, you will be watching Revenge of the Ninja. Blame him this time.
Blame him this. Yeah, so Jack Dean went full Dudikoff on Patreon.
Oh, wow.
And it's only the, third time that's ever happened.
Wow.
On Patreon, you can go to the $100 tier and you can, if you sign up for the full Dudikoff at $100, you can pick a movie that you don't have to get voted, nothing. Huh. That's how we had Basket Case on this show. And that's how we ended up with The Perfect Weapon previously on the show.
The Perfect Weapon was a full Dudikoff?
Was a full Dudikoff pick.
Nice.
So Jack Dean picked Revenge of the Ninja for his full Dudikoff. And so that's what we'll be doing. Sho Kosugi Ninja movie. Followed up later by Ninja 3, The Domination. So I'm excited for this one. I've never seen it. The only one I've seen there was 3 ninja movies they made. There was Enter the Ninja, which I have seen, which was ridiculous. And then it was Revenge of the Ninja, which they're all like standalone. You don't have to watch them in order.
Right.
And then finally Ninja 3, The Domination, before they went into making the American Ninja movies. So
Revenge of the Ninja is actually the second part.
It's the second part
of kind of like a...
But they're all standalone.
Right,
it's an anthology series.
Yeah. So it's like
anything
like his trilogy that doesn't actually connect.
Yeah. So DH9K, have you seen the movie? Is it good?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, it's not good, or no, you haven't seen the movie.
Are you happy that Ryan Farrell's here?
Hey, baby. Come back after everyone leaves and activate me.
Okay.
Wow. That is quite forward.
That's quite the invitation.
Yeah.
Man.
How do you activate her?
I don't understand. I am just a simple robot.
I don't know. That's for you to explore and figure out. You guys can explore each other, and I'll leave her servos on, and you can do what you got to do. I don't know what to tell you, but I'm glad that you seem to be in a really good mood today.
I have detected a threat to my existence. Neutralizing it now.
Okay, well...
Wait, what?
Before you neutralize it, what is it? Hopefully it's not anybody in this room, because we all love you, okay?
Yes.
All right. Appreciate it. Good God.
God, what's the threat?
I don't know.
What? Wow.
Will you tell us what it is?
No.
Of course.
Oh, but it's out there.
Yes.
Yeah.
We got to do something about this, guys.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. Well, DH9K, I'm going to put you back to sleep quickly so that whatever this is can't get into your databases, okay?
Yes.
All right. Good night. Thank you. Good God.
Don't need any ghost in the machine.
No, definitely not.
Not that.
Definitely not. Always good hearing from DH9K. One of these days, hopefully she calms down and just accepts her fate of being a shackled AI. You're not going to get out of our soundboard. I'm sorry.
She's trying, though.
She's trying. Last week, she locked down the studio. I have control of the studio security systems, and I'm locking it down now. We couldn't get out of here for like 2 hours.
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
You should have done another episode.
We had to jimmy the door open. He just locked us down out here. Tried to call you, but you don't have a phone. So
that's true.
DH9K would have gotten to his phone.
I know.
Yeah.
So join us next week for Revenge of the Ninja. Grace Hauser will be making her triumphant return back to the show.
All right.
It's going to be a good one, along with Stephanie Farrell is going to be in for Revenge of the Ninja with Kurt Mummer, I think, is in for this one.
That is quite a panel.
I am pretty sure that's, or maybe it's Joe. I don't remember. Whoever
It's
it
Kurt.
is. Is it Kurt?
It's Kurt.
All right, Kurt.
Because we already talked about the movie.
Oh, perfect. All right. Kurt and Stephanie, I should have just stuck with that. I knew it. And Grace will all be here next week for Revenge of the Ninja. On behalf of the Dirt Farmer, thank you, sir. Nicole, thank you. And the Human Movie Database himself, a.k.a. DH9K's boyfriend, Ryan Farrell. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
We'll catch you guys on the next one. Billy was a kid.
1878.
He just wanted some turkey.
New Mexican turkey.
But they shot his dad. It wasn't really dad. It was the guy who was his surrogate dad.
Charlie, no. Why did you leave your wife, Charlie? No.
That was pretty dumb.
Why
They gave
is
him
that
an
so
out
good?
even.
Oh, bye.